Hi everybody, welcome to ZealZaddy. I'm Scott Coventry, the DM and storyteller of Mysts of Elixia. This is episode 22. It has a really long title. Wipe 1,000 tears from your eyes, but none from your soul. I think that's the second longest title I've had for an episode. There was one that was like three lines long. It was like a paragraph. We play D&D 5e in this stream, and then sometimes during the week, although it hasn't been for a while, I do some world building stuff too, either map making or working on my world. You can follow ZealZaddy on right here, but also everywhere else at / or at ZealZaddy. So that would include Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Patreon, and then I'll post into the links into chat. I'll do it right now. Just get it done. So let me bring on the players. They're way more important than me anyway. All right. So let's get introductions. Why don't we start with Morgan today?
What? We start with me today?
Yeah, and I'm going to move you while you're doing it because you're in the wrong spot. Damn it.
I am Morkant. I'm playing Morkant. No, I'm not. I'm lying.
Does that mean I get to play Vazarin today?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Hello!
Damn.
To play,
Do that again? Do that again?
I guess I'm that slow.
Hello!
I am Morgan. I am the founder of Mindflayed Mondays. If you need a professional DM, you can check out our website, mindflayedmondays.com. We also create content on Amazon, like t-shirts that you can buy, as well as content on Redbubble, or products, I should say, not content, because the content we create is on the DMs Guild. So please check any of those things out and support us if you can. Other than that, tonight I'm playing Vazarin Madrick. He is the party's wizard, and I'm, as always, excited to be here with these wonderful, wonderful people. The highlight of my week.
Let's go to Brandon.
Hi, I'm Brandon.
The real Brandon Shady.
I'm Brandon. I play Morkant von Amstel, and not Vazarin.
That's true.
Are you sure? Hello.
We think.
Funny.
All right. How about let's go to Dylan.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I play Eslo, the Dragonborn Barbarian. Got nothing to plug right now, so let's just get into it.
Didn't you just recently make something up that you put on DM's Guild or Drive-Thru?
It's a long time ago. And
It wasn't that long ago.
It was months ago, man. No one ever bought it, except for Morgan.
I bought it.
I got like 30 cents off it.
I bought it. I like supporting my fellows.
All right. Let's go to Tiffany. Whose shirt I'm wearing? Her from her Dungeon Damsels game,
Yay!
which I love.
Oh, thanks. So my name is Tiffany. I play Caradwyn Sagewind, the party's bard. I also host my own Dungeons and Dragons campaign called Dungeon Damsels. It features an all-female team, plus my husband Michael, who plays a girl, and we focus a lot on. He just did a little fist bump. And it focuses a lot on character development and plot. So if you like an RP-heavy sort of game, that's where you might want to check us out. So we're on YouTube and in podcast form. And this place is also great. We've got a lot of good players here.
And he plays a girl really well.
Yes, my husband does play a girl rather well, which
Yes.
is an odd thing to say, but it is meant as a compliment.
It is a compliment.
And it's interesting to flirt with him while playing a male and he's playing a female, and it's very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, role reversal. I don't want to get any deeper into that one. I'll leave it at that.
Well, it's just like he's more like shy, and I'm more like, hey, and it's just funny in that way.
Yeah.
And just like Carrot, when you throw him over your shoulder.
Pretty much.
All right. So, does anybody want to do a recap, or is it going to be collective today? It's usually collective now. It's easier.
Well, we started off heading towards the Brock. We got to the Brock and avoided the being tracked. As soon as we got in there, we heard some people out in the fog getting closer.
Wait, what?
He's recapping 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I am. Man, my brain's like fried.
It's all right. Just keep going. You'll catch up eventually.
We had started off and we had finished the fight.
Yeah. So then, we ended up fighting there.
Okay, so we started in
The Brock.
the other. We went to the Brock. We went to the other dimension that the unicorn introduced us to through a magic water cube.
The first thing we did was have a funeral pyre for our late companions.
Oh no, you had a lot more before that.
Yeah, as we each went up through the water, we all had memories.
That's right.
A vision.
We all had visions. Some of us had memory loss. Well, we all had memory loss, but we don't all realize we have memory loss.
Yeah.
We don't know what we forgot.
Yeah.
We found a stone inside this. Well, after we went through the water, we came up into like a little like meadow kind of thing, like a little area. There was a large stone that we could see, and then Eslov discovered an invisible stone.
There are 2 stones, and these are like giant pillars into the
Yes.
sky.
Yeah. And above each one of the pillars is one of the moons. Over each of the pillars, and we had a little bit of a dispute who was going to try to put on the mask. Veserin tried to put it on. Nothing happened. Caradwin put it on, and she was able to see all kinds of information on the invisible stone. And together with that information from that stone, as well as from the stone we could see, you were able to figure out that this place was a special spot for 2 goddesses where they could come to meet. But the invisible stone looked like it might have been some type of curse that nobody knew about, or carried some type of curse on it.
Yeah.
After trying to get as much information off the stone, because we also found out the invisible stone showed the direction of the moon. Which moon was it? Mave?
It showed a trackable pattern from Mave, which is not believed to be how it works.
Yes. And so we got as much information off that as we could for Morkant. And then we started following a path which led us back into our reality. But it was like months in advance. We were now in spring, or entering spring.
Assuming it is reality.
Assuming it is reality, because we did have like a funeral for Eldrin, and had a few scenes with Rafa and the siblings where we collected flowers and reminisced about him, and then we as a group decided to just like take a direction because we were like, I don't know. And then as we were walking down like one of the main roads, Caradwin recognized it, and then Eslov looked up and noticed that, hey, the moons are moving again. So we're assuming based on these, since.
And then we went to the teleporter stones.
Yes.
Then we went to the teleporter stones, teleported, and have a bunch of arrows trained on us.
Yeah, bows trained on you.
Bows trained on us.
We're 3 seconds from becoming pincushions.
Yep.
We're fine.
Possibly.
Don't worry about it.
It's not a big deal.
We've been in this situation before, and never been that bad for us.
Yeah.
I cast Scatter, centered on our tongue.
I thought you said scatter. I was like, how do you have that at this level?
No, I do not.
And when you come through, Ratha and Ilyana and the people that are with you all kind of pull to the center of the group because they're mostly weaponless. Although Fagin and Cardwell, they kind of step out and they start to draw their weapons. And Everybody except Eslov can make me a... Oh, what would it be? An intelligence roll. An intelligence check.
$13. I rolled kind of low.
Yeah.
13 might still be good.
That's better than mine.
No. I got an 11.
Okay.
Yeah, 13. Good number.
Yeah.
Good roll.
So,
Great, never get a number.
Vesrin, you recognize one of the people here is a cleric that you kind of remember from the Festival of Mists, but you're looking away that obviously Morkant isn't.
Mm-hmm.
You don't remember what the person's name was, but you recognize the face.
Morkant, who is that individual?
I guess I will turn to look.
And you see a cleric that you remember was named Lilibet, and she was a cleric to Llewellyn.
To Llewellyn?
Yes. Which they only come to Phelan during the Festival of Mist, the other clerics. And they help out with the festival.
Well, kind of let my guard down. Lilibet, what are you doing here?
Weapons down, weapons down. These are the ones we're looking for. And she comes over. And she walks in. The bows all go down. Oh, Morkant. We've been trying to find you for months. Nobody knew what happened to all of you. You're all there and okay.
Yes, it hasn't been months for us. It's been maybe a day.
What are you doing in Phelan?
Well, we're not in Phelan. We're outside of Phelan. We've been trying to find all of you since the takeover of the towns.
Takeover?
How many months has it been?
Actually, we need to move because we're too close to the town at the moment. We can't be this close to Phelan. The patrols will find us if we just stay in one place too long.
I want an insight check to make sure that I feel that she's on the up and up. Does she seem honest with what she's saying to us?
I would say you don't know her well enough to make that insight check.
More can't trust her implicitly.
There you go.
Is the Eponine up? Where is he at?
He's in Phelan.
Oh, well then I'll just head into Phelan then.
You won't get in there.
Why not? What will stop me?
The guards, the new guards. You're wanted people, all of you.
What did I do?
Well, maybe
Did they switch out the old guard? Or are they still...
They did. They've replaced them.
Replace them with who?
We should get to the camp, and then we can have a word. If you still want to go after that, you should find another way in, but...
Well,
are you able to get in?
What?
Are you or any of your men able to get in safely or no?
No. No, all the cities have been locked down. The new Viscount is serious about finding all of you, and everyone knows it's to put all of you in chains.
What about Awok?
Let's go talk.
Let's walk and talk. Kind of start ushering people.
And
as we're walking, I'll lean over to Morkant and be like, "Are you sure we can trust her?"
I've known her most of my life. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't.
And
she's a good person.
As you're traveling, the archers are keeping an eye out. You can tell they're being very wary of their surroundings, more so than they usually would be in other times. They always have an arrow ready to pull back if they need it, and they're walking on both sides of you and in behind and in front of you. There are 10 of them plus Lilibet. And none of them are looking in at you at all. They're only looking to the out.
Bezner will kind of do the same to try to see what they might be, see if there's anything that's out there that he should be wary of.
Well, you're in the woods, and it's pretty hard to see a whole lot of anything since it's starting to get dark again. But as you travel, Caradwin would know that you're heading northeast, which means you're heading away from Phelan. Actually, probably Eslov would know that too. Would know that. So you're heading away from Phelan and deeper into the forest.
Can I look around at the trees and
Sure.
try to determine like how long it's been? How long
You-
it's been gone?
Are we walking in any particular
Or like what month
direction?
it's in?
Yeah, make me a nature check.
Sorry, I started talking too soon.
Roll a natural one.
It's not winter, it's spring or something.
Oh,
There's things blooming, so springy. What were you saying, Dylan?
Stuff was going to speak and say, are we going anywhere, or are we just planning on getting lost?
Who are you saying that to?
Just out loud. To anyone, to whoever's leading.
Oh, yeah, Lilibet. She is. We're going to the camp. We're not lost. Are you okay being in the woods?
He laughs.
You look like you can handle yourself.
Throws his head back and chuckles like it's an obvious question.
So, why were you all at the stone?
that's an odd thing.
There's a wizard that's been helping out, telling us where to go to try and find you.
Can I insight check that?
Who's the wizard?
Probably the one we saved.
Yeah. It is. Hold on, I gotta go get the name again. But yes, it was that one.
Oh, okay.
I gotta get the name. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but that was the one.
Okay.
He's been helping out Ewok and the Resistance.
Resistance.
There's been a lot that has
We
happened.
sure
in
have
that
been
time.
gone a while.
And Lilibet says, "Shh, none of that at the moment. Wait till we get to camp."
What, is there someone watching?
There could be ears anywhere.
I have two right here.
There are protections at the camp that make it much harder to listen in if anything is spoken. We should travel without too much conversation of any meaning.
Who is this new viceroy?
I can.
Viscount.
Viscount. That's exactly what Morcant said.
Viscount Aelin.
No surprise there.
Do not call him that. He did not earn that title. He stole that title.
We understand.
Then he is not the Viscount. Do not refer to him. Don't give him that power with that name. That title. He is Aelin the Usurper. Nothing more.
And you continue walking for what seems to be deep into the night. And then you see a little fire up ahead of you. And as you get closer, you see it's a pretty good size bonfire in a clearing in the woods. And there are some carts in here and tents set up, lean-tos, and there's a bunch of people in here. And when you get in, you realize for a moment you walk through some kind of an invisible barrier that you feel as you walk past it. And then the sound from outside disappears. we're here.
That's on net.
Do I recognize this magic at all, like that they use? I mean, obviously it's not something I can cast myself, but do I know of the magic?
I'll give you an Arcana check.
Not bad. 13 plus 6, so 19.
It seems to be some kind of spell that is not a wizard spell.
Interesting.
And you see Awak in the middle of the clearing with a big table set up, and there's a bunch of people around it, and they're all talking and looking at stuff on the table. And you see him look over when you all come in, and he stands up as tall as he can. He's not that tall. And he starts heading over with a cane. Oh, my friends, you made it. You made it. Actually, he doesn't say it like that. Ah, you made it. And he clicks over with his cane, walking. And he gets to all of you, and whoever is first, he gives him a big hug. Probably Eslov. Make him the most uncomfortable because he's so little compared to Eslov.
He's like hugging my shin. I'll just reach down and pat him on the head.
We've been so worried. And then he goes and hugs Morkant and Vesrin and Caradwyn and Ratha, who he seems extra happy to see. Like they've maybe known each other, although you've never seen them meet. And he looks at Ilyana and goes, "You must be Ilyana." I am, sir. So, and then the other one here would be Allred. And he welcomes him in. Come. We've been looking for you and waiting for you. We weren't sure. We knew that you hadn't been captured because the activity says you haven't been found. Come. It's not cold, but the fire is there.
Well, we definitely went to an interesting place.
Well, the conversations are protected here. You probably felt it as you came in, the disappearance of the sound from outside.
Well, where should we even begin? Is this the resistance that I've heard a little about?
This is part of it, yes.
I was hoping it wouldn't be this small.
Oh no, we're in many places on the island.
And who leads the cells?
We lead it from here.
So this is the main camp.
This is the center. But we try not to have too many in one place at any one time. That would be risky. And looking around, you would guess there are 100 people here, tops.
What is the full numbers of our resistance?
How many look like soldiers, and how many look like just regular people?
A lot of them look like archers, and elven archers are pretty excellent. The number that look like soldiers, you'd probably guess would be 20% maybe. So 20, a little more than 20 maybe.
Your forces are a bit weak.
Well, resistances aren't usually made of armies. The armies are usually who you're resisting against.
I suppose I wouldn't know.
What of Shaley and the Furbolgs?
They've gone into the Reaching Woods, which you know are south of Shaley.
Right. And so who's in charge of the resistance? Who's leading it?
In which area? They're all over the place.
Well, I mean, you need some. So you have a sort of general leader in each area, but you don't have an overarching person in charge.
Well, in your part, I assume that you're from Shaley, the Shaley area, right? If I remember correctly. So
generally,
that would be the person who's leading the resistance in that area is Saren. That would be your sister, correct?
Yep, sounds like Saren.
Yes.
Glad to know she's doing all right.
Oh, she's sent most of the people into the slow to the south. There ain't no army going into the slow. Not very fast, at least. Did you catch that pun? I guess not. Nobody got it.
Sorry, I was writing. Yes, they aren't going very fast and slow.
Yeah, you know the Shaley Slow is basically a mucky, muddy, swampy area. Mud basically up above your knees in most places. Mm-hmm. But if you know how to travel it, you can get through.
Right. Yes, it's good to hear. I'm sure she's just sort of processing it. You see her kind of like, oh, okay. Well, do we have any hopes of appealing to the Arendelle Empire? You know, this has been an improper ascension of power.
It's interesting you would say that. Because we need to send some people that have enough clout to sway them to send assistance. And look who showed up. Vesrin, Ratha, Ilyana, Alred. Perfect to make that claim to the authorities that are higher than those here. And Lilybeth goes, wait a minute, we can't even talk to them about that yet. And Awok says, Lilybeth, we need to tell them whatever we need to get them informed and ready for whatever's going on. I don't think we should be saying so much to any one person. We should keep a lot of this information divided out. It is divided out. These are the whole point of the resistance. These are the people. And she takes a step back and shuts up.
Are you really betting your whole resistance that we would just all of a sudden appear, Awa?
We've been resisting, but as your dragonborn friend has said, we are less armed than we need to be. So we are constricting things like food stuff into the cities, into the towns where they are holding up. We're trying to find ways into the town to create problems on the inside. But there are people who are in the cities that were just unable to leave and now are just working under the people that are there. It's very hard to know exactly who's who at the moment.
Well, I think we need to figure out what we want to do next. I mean, she looks at the Madrick group family. I mean, I'm assuming you guys aren't very keen on Aelin staying as the Viscount, so we need to decide who's staying here and who's going to...
Easy enough. Sorry, Dwayne, but easy enough. My sisters, and my brother will be the ones to go. I will stay here, and I will deal with Aelin.
What about your father? Shouldn't he have returned on the ships by now? Why hasn't he taken control of the situation?
Perhaps Aelin's taking control of him, like he took control of my oldest brother.
Look over at Awok.
His father has been... Phelan has been drawn to the west. There have been raiders out west that have been making incursions into the Blue Wastes, trying to get to Elixia. So he's been called actually to arms, something that very rarely happens, but happened to happen this season.
So he's essentially out of the picture right now.
They've even made it as far east as Punkt, which Eslov knows where Punkt is. That's on the opposite side of the wilds from where he normally... Not the opposite. It's pretty far from where he lived.
Is it to the east or the west?
It's to the west.
All right. Well, I'm good with this plan of getting Rotha and the others to the um, the, the main empire. We just need do you know of a way to secure passage for them?
And Awok and Lilybet look at each other. There's a ship captain who is stuck in Phelan needing repairs. Her name... do you remember her name? Oh, yes. It's my friend Omari. Captain Omari's ship is in port. And she is in need of the pitch kilns or the tar kilns to do some repairs on her ship. Those are outside the city. She's looking to try and get passage outside the city to get word to get word of what's happening outside. I believe. We know they've been sending people to the pitch kiln to the tar kilns to try and get them prepared again. So obviously they need the ships to be moving, and they want them moving.
So how long does your friend need to
I
be
know
ready to
Omari.
go?
Until we can talk to her, we don't really know. We've been watching the kilns, and we caught word from someone who did get out of the city, saying that she was trying to get to the pitch kilns. So we're trying to we have people watching it and waiting for the moment.
So, DM question: are the Kinnelans outside of the city?
Yeah, the pitch kilns are outside the city. They're basically these giant, like a little cave that goes into a hole in the ground where they burn birchwood to make tar. Like tar in the old days was not coal so much or mineral as it was burned woods with a blend of other materials, muds and stuff.
Okay, and so she
So they have to go and burn in this huge big hole.
and is she trying to get there by foot so she can get the stuff to repair her ship?
We suspect she's actually not in need of repair, but biding time to not be made to travel out. A good ruse. It'd be hard for anyone in that city to know if a ship really needed tar repairing, needed new tar or new pitch, especially with all the craftsmen having been disappeared.
So
The
with
city of sailors.
What?
But isn't it a city of sailors?
Yes, but a lot of the craftspeople have disappeared, or things have happened to them. So a lot of the craftsmen who know the pitch kilns aren't really there. They're waiting. They have new craftsmen about to arrive, apparently. And then maybe they can do something.
So the craftsmen they up and vanished all across the island.
A lot of them were having a lot of problems before you disappeared. You knew what was going on there. But since then, there have been a lot of changes in the staffing of cities.
So how do we plan on getting my siblings onto that boat without them being detected by the usurper's men?
Until we talk to Omari, we don't have a plan yet for that. But that is what we need to make a plan for once we speak to her.
Right, so plan of action is to talk to Amari.
Yes, talking to Omari would be good. She is very... And Rotha steps in. She has sight.
She sees visions.
She can read the stars in ways that most others cannot. If I remember correctly, she taught your Dragonborn to read the stars.
Don't look at a slove.
Is that where you learned? Eslov, is that where you learned how to read the stars from Amari?
He nods.
So, how about this? My siblings stay here in the camp with you, and we go and meet Amari.
Well, we may have to send a team to extract Amari and make it look like she got back to the city. She can't be out of the city very long, and if she loses her escort and survives, even that could look suspicious. We're thinking of making a capture and then letting some of them escape with Omari. Give them ample opportunity to get away, not realizing that they were let go.
So we're going to kidnap all of them. Then.
Oh no, we're going to kill some of them.
Okay, so we're gonna kill some, kidnap some others. Then we're
Yes.
gonna take Omari away and talk to her. And after we're done our talking and made our plan, we're gonna release her along with her escort. Thinking release them, we'll quote. They think they escaped.
I didn't hear you. What?
Why are we going to kill them now? That doesn't seem like it needs to be necessary.
If they're soldiers, we need to start reducing their people at arms if we have the opportunity.
If they know that their true leader is here, do you think they'll keep following the false Viscount?
Morkant, what if they're all possessed, or what if they are worse? What if they are demons themselves in disguise as people? I mean, we don't know.
Well, let's just kill them all then, right, Desmond?
I'm not saying to kill them all. I'm saying you can't just walk up and treat them as if they're innocent bystanders. They know what's going on this island. They've been here for months doing my brother's bidding. Obviously, they are not innocent at this point in their doings.
I don't think you can be sure about that.
Well, I think there's a certain degree of, I mean, these are men who are following their current leader, the current law. And, if they're in a position that's not really that great for them. I mean, they could be in a position where they don't really have a choice. Maybe they have to follow these orders or be punished in some way. It's I'm not opposed to seeing if they would be, willing to trade sides. I mean, it takes effort to know the intentions of people.
I think it's very bold of us to even have this argument when we've been gone for months and these people are hiding in the woods trying to survive. Very bold of us to assume that these men are reasonable at this point. If they were, our friends would not have to hide behind an invisible barrier from them.
Some people.
You're being hard-headed.
No, I'm being realistic.
I find it hard to believe the entirety of Alexia's army was willing to do horrific things of their own will. I think if we're capable of figuring out who's leading in this area, we can convince them at least to help the people of Palin.
You're both right. Some people did come over when given an opportunity, but most did not.
As far as we know, they could
loyalty?
be under some sort of spell. We've seen the influence of magic on people, had them do crazy things. For all we know, they could be influenced under the spell as well. We just don't have enough information to assume that they're all a bunch of murderous people intent on killing us.
If I'm going to risk my brother and my sister's lives...
That's why they're staying here, Vezrin!
No, listen to what I'm saying. If I'm going to risk their lives by sending them with Amari onto this boat, and we're just going to assume that these people are reasonable, and they get killed because of let's hope that they're peaceful and they're willing to work with us. How would you feel if your sister was at the end of their blade?
It's
How would you feel if your sister was at the end of the blade? Would you still want to give them mercy if they were killing your family?
Yes, because we need to be better, Vesrin.
Yes, and look where that got us before. Eldrin's dead. We couldn't stop that because we're always trying to save everyone.
And
No,
Awok,
Vesrin died
wait,
because there's a
Vesrin's
crazy
still alive.
Deva out there.
wait. What do you mean he died?
Vesrin's dead.
Eldrin.
Eldrin.
Eldrin's still alive.
I know.
That's what I said.
Are you trying to kill me, Tiffany? You trying to kill me?
Eldrin's dead.
Let's duke it out right now.
Hold on. Before we continue, why don't you come and sit and tell us the story of what happened to you so that we understand better what we should be doing. Maybe you have information that we need to better resist or change people's minds.
I have information for the soul. I do need to get into the town. Do you have a way?
We don't.
So here's what happened, and we tell them everything.
Yeah.
Do we tell them everything?
Telling everybody everything.
I mean, do we? I mean, what would we gain by hiding certain information from these guys right now? What information would you not want to say?
I would say as little as possible, to be honest.
No, Vesrin's going to tell Awok and them what happened. that Aelin has been corrupted by this Deva, or this fallen Deva, and that she goes by multiple names: Talon, Talbames, and she's the one who killed Eldrin.
Well,
Probably still.
I'm not going to say anything about about Dwin's son, or that kind of information. I'm not going to say anything like those, but in regards to what happened in that fight, yes.
that would explain a lot about the Viscountess.
Oh, is there just a big tall lady that's the Viscountess now?
Well, your younger brother married someone who we didn't know who it was, but she's already gained a reputation as being cruel and, well, I'll just leave it at cruel. Word is it was her plans to change the guard and move the craftsmen to different places and give them works that seemed unrelated to helping build the towns or grow food or what have you. More along the lines of making a great art or something. Nobody seems to be able to figure out what they're doing.
And how were they allowed to do this? How did the town elders and the soul not prevent
The
this
town,
from-
the town elders were disbanded. They put a reeve in charge of every city. There's no longer town elders running the towns.
What of the soul?
A reeve in the old days, a reeve was something like a mayor,
Okay.
and often came with
Burgermaster.
yes, like a burgomaster.
Burgermeister?
Yeah. I didn't want to use that word because it just sounds so funny.
Patties.
Yes, exactly. McDonald's ruined that forever. So I went to an older word, reeve. So the reeves are in charge, and they've basically laid down. I mean, they're even building walls around the cities now, and that's never happened. Even Phelan's getting walls around the other sides that didn't exist before.
So you're saying a bunch of guards who weren't from Phelan took over as the guards from Phelan? Or do they bring up new citizens who take positions in the guard?
The Reeves arrived with their orders from the Viscount, who were then given to the other important officials. Those officials were removed from office, and the offices disbanded. The Reeves were put in charge by the Viscount and the Viscountess, leaving everyone else wondering what happened. and what to do.
But I'm curious about the guards. Are they from Phelan, or are they from outside of Phelan?
No, they're from outside. They came from Cairo apparently, but I don't know.
Where'd they have a bunch of people hiding? I mean, it sounds like a bunch of new people came from out of Cairo and then took on the roles of city guards. What happened to the old guard? Where'd they go?
And Awok steps up and goes, I'm not sure where all those guards came from. The last time I was in Cairo, they couldn't have had enough guards. So...
Did you recognize any of them?
I did not. And the old guards were generally put in charge of things like construct and the jail cells, but not the city guard, the city protection.
Where are all these people coming from? That's an interesting idea. Jesus.
Well, we should get some food. You must be hungry, and you've been basically traveling for a day and 6 months. So, I mean, you've been gone 6 months. That's half a year. Which is astounding to us. Probably to you, too. And they bring food in, and Lilybet sits and goes, I talked to Awok, and he said that I should inform you of the things going on the island. So let me tell you what we know so far. All the towns are closed, Phelan included, and walls are going up where they can find the people to build them, not the soldiers. The soldiers are not building them. Although in Phelan, the previous guards, some of them have been put to work in doing the stonework. There are people at arms at every entrance across bridges into and out of towns. Although you get to the center like Raisa, and there seems to be less. Another thing that happened, which the Apanias resisted, was they removed all the children and forced them into families. Any family that didn't have a child yet was forced to take on the ward of a child. All the children have been given homes. We don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I mean, it's good for children to have homes. I'm not sure it's good for children to have homes with parents that didn't want them. But they were moved. The ships coming in and out, they're under tremendous scrutiny. The fishing boats are forced to go out almost all the time. They come in, they unload, and they're back to sea. It's like they don't want these people spending very much time in the town, perhaps to keep rumors down, but also it could be to keep people who are strong enough to resist out. We don't know the answer to that yet.
Well, fishing all day doesn't sound that bad to me.
No, not to the sailors. They're happy to do it for the most part, although they would like to spend time with their families. And that's not happening. Let's see. Oh, and this is the symbol that they're using for the new Reeves. And he points, and she points down. Lilybet points down, and there's this drawing of a vine that you have recognized before.
Those of Karos.
And Cardwell says, I'll work with resistance. I don't need to travel any farther to know that this is the right thing to be doing, to try and make this stop. And Awok looks at him. Weren't you loyal to, pardon me, but to the family, including the previous Viscount? I'm loyal to the island and the people of the island. This is a usurper. He's not the rightful heir. And Fagin, she stands up. I can help too. I know where there are more pitch fields than they can even imagine. I can help get any ships going if we need to. We'd be happy to have the help, of course. And they sit back down. The clerics are in an interesting position, Markant. They've been turned. I don't know exactly how to say it. They spend a lot of time in prayers, which is something that, even though they pray a lot, it was never something that you like. The church doesn't spend its time praying. It spends most of its time doing things, helping the town and helping the city. And there's a suspicion that they're actually trying to avoid confrontation with the guards, and somebody has been getting messages and information out. We think they may be speaking with people and creating the beginnings of a spy network or an espionage network to get information in and out of the cities. They knew a lot of people, obviously.
I'm sure the Apania has a plan. He's the wisest man on this island.
He's very wise, Lilybet says. So, all across the island, there are people resisting, but we're out-armed. I wouldn't say we're outnumbered necessarily, but they have walls and protection. So, the idea has been, let's start to starving them out. But the problem is, there's a lot of people in the cities that are not part are just living their lives, and we're afraid they will be the ones starved first. So even that has been contested as the best idea.
Perhaps take each city back by one. Get a small group in, open the gates at night so the rest can come through. Take out the man in charge who bears the mark of Keros and force them out. And then
getting in isn't as easy as you think.
Oh, no. If you don't care about killing people, it's quite easy. Where we were found, there's a path that leads to the 8. We can head through there.
From outside the city?
Yes.
Yes.
It's our plan to enter the city originally was where you found us, near that.
Oh, well, that could change things very quickly.
I mean, alternatively, if we can make some kind of paddle boat and get out to sea, we might be able to meet up with some of the fishermen, and that let us get into the city that way as well.
That has actually worked once. We were able to get some people in one time when it first started. So that potentially could work. That could be why they keep having the fishing boats out to sea, so there's not so many opportunities on land to get access to a boat.
Perhaps a little bit combination of your original plan along with Morkan's. First, we see if we can gain entrance into the A. And those, and bringing in supplies to those who need it, that are innocent. But basically gaining their loyalty and trust, knowing that we are there for them. Could even get them to potentially be allies if we do need to force our way through. At least we might be able to help connect whatever this network is that the soul might be trying to build.
Connecting to the soul is definitely a good move on our end. Seeing what they know.
Perhaps if the soul is building a network, perhaps instead of going into Phelan, which already has fortifications, we head to Raisa to the Soul there and see if the network has been set up. It'd be far easier. It's just much smaller town. I'm sure it's not strategically positioned with its port, so I'm sure they aren't guarding it as well.
But it might still be more difficult. We have a chance to go into Phelan now for you to meet with the Apanya and learn what they know firsthand. I'm not saying it'll be easy, but we don't have to go in with everybody.
More importantly, I need to get him the notes we took about the movement of Mava. Because regardless of what happens here in the next 100 years, that'll change the course of every creature on this planet.
Lilybets, I don't understand. Why would knowing the moon, where the moon is,
controls the tide? It lets us
Understand
know
the water more.
it will allow us to move freely around this world. There'll be and travel with the waves instead of against them.
She's obviously not a sailor.
Oh. Okay, well then, I mean, I think we do want to get to the Apani. Just how about are we gonna do that? Are we all four of us gonna go?
Are we going to wait for Omari?
We can wait for Amari if you guys wish.
We don't know when he'll come out, though.
Perhaps we can go in and find Amari this way.
Perhaps.
And then we can avoid the bloodshed that my companions so dearly wish.
That could work, too. Awok's like, I think that's a good plan if you know another way in.
Perhaps. We haven't checked.
It could be blocked off or fortified somehow. But we won't know until we look. So let's just look.
That's... Yes, you should probably have some soldiery go with you to help out, at least to get you to the city entrance area.
The only thing I'm concerned about, no offense, is Eslov. How often do you see a dragonborn on our island? The rest of us, it'd be a little bit easier for us to blend in. I mean, elves and half-elves and, Dwayne, your people, we live here, but...
There are not many furbolgs.
Or I can
Yes.
look
At
different.
least not here. Ah,
Yes, but
that's true.
Eslov will stick out like a sore thumb.
Wait, can she make me look different? Can you make me look different?
No, sorry, it can only
Yeah.
be applied to me.
We can make robes. We can make robes and get them under robes.
It could be a hunchback.
I mean,
Sorry, that was...
I'm all for if we can sneak him in or give him a disguise, then so be it. We need to be aware that if those are people that are looking for us, they will be looking for a dragonborn for sure.
I'll just pick up some twigs off the ground and make myself a wooden mustache.
And a nose.
See, I can barely
Glasses.
recognize him already. Well, I mean, let's see what these robes, how far we can get with these robes. I mean, let's just see how they look on him.
And if we stick to the alleys, that might help as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I could just stay here.
I feel much better if you were with us.
If we turned ourselves in, where would we end up?
And they all look at you like, what? in the jail, I'd imagine. Or hanging from a gallows.
Nah.
Just to be
That
clear,
would work.
Morkan, I will not turn myself in.
They've not been reluctant to hang
Would never
people.
ask you to.
would they go to the jail, or did they go immediately to the gallows?
To the jail first, I would imagine.
Doesn't
I
mean
don't-
we get that same treatment, though.
I'd wonder if the Reeve would want to turn us in himself.
like we could. I mean, well, what benefit does it have for us to be in the jail? Because we wanted to come in and
Closer
be...
to whoever's in charge.
It pulls the reeve out into the open.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily, no.
No, that's
I
not necessarily
honestly-
true.
I honestly think that if you guys want to avoid bloodshed, the best bet is to see if that tunnel is still functional. And then we can see if we can meet with the Apanya and your fellows, and maybe even get Amari and bring him back here safely.
I agree. I think we should go down that pathway. I still want to see those robes. I'll see what I can do.
You also mentioned that there's a wizard here.
He's not here, but he's been helping set up the points that could be of interest. He was apparently trapped by the Viscountess at some point, and he said that he had met all of you and could maybe help find where you would be. And he was right. He said to watch those stones, those and the ones and the Brock out near Cairo.
Do I know this wizard?
We saved him.
Yeah.
It was when we went out to that little island in the mist
Yeah.
on the water.
Oh, okay.
Where
that guy.
our entrance like went batshit crazy, and then you froze somebody to death and pushed them out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Which
was,
is
Almost
It
true.
was
well,
super
let's not
fun.
kill people out the
I
window.
was worthless the whole fight.
That was actually a lot of fun that night.
You weren't worthless. Wasn't it your idea to throw the chalk around? And...
But like the fight itself, I was just like invisible because I was expecting to get behind someone who wasn't actually there when I went up the stairs and there was nothing there.
Yeah.
You're the cleric. We don't expect much of you in a fight. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's been traveling trying to find spells to create himself a new book.
Well, like I said, I could transcribe. If I'd been able to, I would have been just transcribing throughout the nights spells over into mine, and then I can give him back his book.
Well, he didn't know. He didn't know you were here.
Yeah.
Any word if he's been able to get in contact with his creatures?
With what creatures?
He was forced to create some aquatic creatures in the past. I talked with him about it briefly.
He never mentioned that to me.
Are you talking about those armed fish again?
Yes, I am, and he is the one who created them.
That's where they're
Very,
from.
very weird that you had this conversation. We were all there. I never saw this conversation. Dwayne, did you hear him talk about armed fish, Eslov? No?
I didn't hear him talk about armed fish with the wizard. No.
No, I did not.
No, I didn't at all.
You were all occupied. I'm just curious if there is a stealthy ally out there for us.
His name was Carlin Abertha.
Harlan. Yeah, I think I had his name written down.
Yeah. I know he's been trying to travel in disguise and meet up with other casters to see if he could transcribe from them spells that they have. And he's had some luck. I believe he learned how to do prestidigitation again.
Question: was I able to transcribe the spells from his book?
Yeah, you've had time.
All right. Then I will say next time he comes by, let him know that his book is here.
Okay. Yes, I will let him know. So you have his book.
Yes.
So what do you know of the Viscountess? Why is she controlling the Viscount, the usurper? How?
Well, we found a lot of evidence of basically charming magic from succubi, and to some extent, possibly this Deva. I don't know if she's the true ringleader or it's just another pawn in the setup. But it is pretty likely that she could be this new Viscountess, as she can change her appearance and is, cunning and has the ability to manipulate people to her will.
I believe she might even use her blood in the process. I did see through my companion's eyes a dwarf that worked for her drinking her blood from her hand as if he needed it to survive. So there may be some type of blood magic involved. Not only that, she seems to believe that she will be returned to her former glory through Kairos. But it seems that she's been twisted, and she seems more like a demon than an angel.
And Lilybet goes, "What is this Kairos? I've heard that a couple of times." And Ewok goes, "That's the former or ex-deity or something." Actually, maybe Morkan knows more about that now.
I'll tell them the story that I remembered during the dream of the trickster demon.
Okay.
And then just finish it. And I believe that that demon is using Kairos' name in hopes to elevate itself to return to godhood.
Why would a Deva have been the servant of a god or a demon that was, well, a demon in the first place, and think that could elevate herself?
I think she could be manipulated as well.
I think Morkant is correct that she's been fooled. When we were battling against her and Eldrin's forces, she went to summon angels to her side, or not angels, but angelic creatures, and in turn, instead of celestial beings come out, it was demons, which she herself was upset about and began to fight as well.
Question is, after 6 months, why is she back where she was before that fight?
Manipulation.
That we don't know.
There sounds like a lot we don't know.
Well, there's a lot that you do know. You brought so much information that we didn't know about. We need to start looking through the woods and find these stones. Do any of you know where that is? And nobody knows.
They were already there.
The standing stones that you had found in the middle of the woods.
Oh, but we believe that may not have been here. Like, it was here, but not necessarily here.
It's a different plane.
Like a layer on top of a layer.
But didn't you just walk out of that area and you were right here? I mean, it sounds like you just walked down a road and you found your way back.
I mean, wait, I don't really get it myself either, but we came from a space that time didn't pass the same, and then we walked on a road and here we are.
Can I get an insight check on Ewok to make it, does he seem like the Ewok I've known from the past, or does something seem off?
Yeah, you can get an insight check.
Ooh, let's see here. What is my insight?
What'd you roll?
Going to be a 22.
He definitely looks like, in his eyes, he looks older and tireder. And he seems like he's not sleeping much. But other than that, he seems to be mostly the same, just like a worn out, raggedy version of him.
Okay.
Well, if we're going to get you into the city through that tunnel you said, we should probably start preparing, because the sooner the better, I would think.
I agree.
Yeah, let's just head out now.
What?
I don't
What
see
time
any
is it?
reason to wait.
Well, what time is it though?
It's the middle of the night.
Perfect.
We still have quite a ways to travel back to that place, and the forest is not necessarily a safe place at night. It wasn't before, and it sure is probably not now.
All right, let's infiltrate the largest city on the island in broad daylight tomorrow then.
It'd be
Let's
easy.
do it.
It
No,
might
but
be
if we left in
easier.
the morning, you could maybe arrive by the evening, and you would be able to travel in the woods in the day rather than at night. But
How far
in
are we
there,
from the city?
you're a good 10, 12 hours now.
Oh,
You
okay.
walked a lot of hours in the night.
So it's gonna take us like half a day.
Yeah. And they do
Yeah,
have
I mean,
carts
well-
and a few horses, but there's no easy road through to get them to the main road.
Yeah, I think we should stay here. Or I mean, if we do want to move tonight, move part way. But if we go all the way there tonight, we'll arrive there at like the middle of the day.
If you left in the morning, you should be able to get there to the tunnel by the time it starts to get dark. And that would maximize your safety in the woods and maximize your cover when you're trying to get into the city.
All right, let's leave in the morning.
And they start getting some tents set up for you. And once the tents are set up, Lilybet comes over and says the accommodations are ready. They're not the most comfortable, but they'll suffice. It is spring, so it wouldn't be that uncomfortable.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
And when you're walking to the tents, you can see there's a lot of people who are looking at all of you and kind of with like a certain level of happiness that's just under them, like maybe they hadn't been doing all this for nothing.
There's hope.
Yeah. And you guys go to sleep or do whatever you're going to do. Are you going to sleep?
Vezran, as soon as they were like done talking, he just takes his food and goes off by himself, not to his family, not to anybody else, and just eats in quiet, away from everyone.
While you're eating, Cardwell comes over to you. May I sit?
Sure.
I won't be long. You know, if there's a tunnel into Phelan, there have to be other ways into almost every city at least the two big cities. The smaller towns don't even have walls yet. If they started building walls, they won't be done by now. So it might be an opportunity before walls are finished in the small places if we were to coordinate to take them back before their defenses are built and completed. Cairo would be hardest and might not be takeable, and Phelan may not be takeable either, but those two can't stand alone forever either.
So what do you suggest? I mean, do
I
we have
think-
the numbers to go in to these cities?
No, what I'm suggesting is we should scout them to see if there are other ways in other than the ways that are obvious. And
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
a
know
good
how
idea.
far they've gone. I don't know what they've done. Maybe they have. But if there's this tunnel that you talk about in Phelan, it, in my mind, I would imagine it that any town that's old enough, which all of them are old towns here, there's potential for tunnels or whatever in all of them.
I would suggest you take this information to AWOC. I'm all for it. Maybe start with Nisa, because you can get there rather quickly from that portal we came from. Take several men with you and scout that area. And I will run down how to do that, the ritual, what he needs
Yeah.
to do to make it happen. And then at least that way we can start seeing some of the major cities if there's a way to get in and use those to our advantage, at least to create networks. Maybe not necessarily to take the city unless we absolutely need to, but at least to create a network and bring hope back to those inside. Because hope is what's going to win this war.
And he stands up. Yeah, that is good. I'll let you enjoy your meal or your time. And he bows, lightly, and then heads back.
I nod, and then I just continue to eat alone.
Okay.
I want to talk to Rotha.
Okay. When you go to talk to her, she's at the edge of her tent, kind of just sitting out and looking up at the sky. How are you doing, Caradwin?
She's just like, I can't, that's a heavy question right now.
It is.
I'm okay. I think it's like, you know how grief comes in waves, and the wave isn't so high right now. I'm more preoccupied with like what's going on at hand. And I'm mainly concerned about Vezran because we keep running into this. He's so concerned about your safety, which is good. But I feel his actions are, how do I say, rash. And I can understand why. But the thing is that he wants to change the way people look at your family. And how he's acting now, he's just gonna look like another crazy murderous person.
He
Because
wants.
He wants peace for his island, yes. I get that. But how we do it matters. And he's concerned with realism, and I get that, but the right way isn't the easy way. So I wanted to talk to you about it. Maybe I could reach him a little better.
He believes maybe too strongly in the nobility of nobility. They often don't act very nobly. And the name is being sullied right now in ways most families like ours could not have imagined. So he's thinking very rashly at the moment. But give him a little time and he'll realize what he's thinking is maybe too dangerous to do, but even more than the dangerous part is wrong. I actually agree with Morkant that if we can do this without bloodshed, I mean, all of the people on this island are our people. We should be protecting them, not killing them.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, Morkant comes from a different place, his thought on it, but noble people who are in charge should be thinking the same way as those on the bottom, or trying to work on the souls. I mean, We do the same things. We protect their bodies. The soul protects their souls.
I think that we'll have a better chance now because people have lived under Aylin's, I mean, I am assuming harsh rule for 6 months. You know,
Yeah.
and if someone like you or like Vezran shows up and says, I'm the beacon of hope here, then they could say, I don't want to follow Aylin anymore, even though they initially did. And I think that's an idea worth exploring. I just don't know how to get to him with that idea.
Well, it really should be Allred. He's older than I am, but he's always been a quieter one. I'm hoping that he finds his inner strength and brings it to the fore, because he could be the one to challenge more so than the rest of us if he decided to move forward with that. Hopefully he will. Vesrin is just, he's very torn. He wants this to end immediately, and for it to end immediately requires blood everywhere. And that's the problem we're in.
Yeah.
And I've had since we left, I've had no visions or no time to really put my mind on things and see if I can see any signs.
Do one of you actually want to be in charge? Because I get the notion that none of you really want to be in charge.
She's like looking at all the metrics.
Does it have to be an elder thing? Shouldn't we just...
No, the youngest is in charge right now.
Well, then shouldn't we choose someone based on merit and not age?
That's an interesting idea that I don't believe has ever been tested in the world.
Perhaps the world's too young for it.
Oh, she's just gonna like lay back on the ground.
Yeah, maybe he just needs time. I need time.
Yes.
I don't know how to even breach this subject yet.
But we don't have much time. I worry now about things off the island. I mean, you remember the list.
Yeah.
Your son, obviously.
I don't even have the energy to think about my son, who's been on the run for 30 and 6 months years.
And what about Morkent's brother? He was on the list.
I mean, Morkent doesn't really care, but I mean, maybe if he meets him, he will care. Anyway, I think the best option is to get you guys off the island and to the main empire. Because then, if we get you there quickly, then we won't have bloodshed. We can transition things peacefully. Everyone can win, so let's just go for that.
Yeah, the king has the ultimate authority, not the usurper Viscount. That's a false authority, not a real authority. And if he's doing this only for her to do whatever it is she's doing, maybe she doesn't care if it lasts forever. She's just doing it long enough to accomplish her goals.
I don't think she's endgame. I think she's just another puppet in this long scheme.
I don't know. But she's definitely got her teeth in Aylin.
She certainly does.
And she's been working on this family and this island for so long, I don't even know where her reach extends or ends.
Yeah, because as far as you know, her reach has been normal.
She's been pretty good until recently about keeping things pretty secretive and quiet. But as all things wicked are, eventually they come to light. Light cleanses.
I certainly hope we'll be able to cleanse there.
Yes.
So just
She lays back with you and she looks up. The stars are beautiful from the tree through the trees.
There they are.
and she'll just chill out with Ratha for a bit.
What are you doing, Eslov?
Gee, I don't know. Probably watching the stars.
They're beautiful. There's no fog. Thank goodness you're out of the fog.
Anything in
And,
particular you can see them?
well, while you're sitting there, after a little while, you see a shooting star, which is nice.
All right, one wish fell. I take it.
Hopefully,
You
it's
will.
a good wish.
Actually, no, they probably wouldn't recognize that as like a thing you make a wish to. Just appreciate it.
Yeah.
I feel like the sign of good luck or something.
Yeah. A lot of things you've been taught are really omens of things, like good and bad omens. And shooting stars generally are good omens, as long as they're not, in the color of red or anything like that. And it was just white. And while you're sitting there, looking at the stars, Awak comes over. So how have you been enjoying not being in your homeland? That must be very tough.
He blinks because it's a surprising question, one that he hasn't really been asked yet. It's different here, obviously. I always feel like I should be doing something, but there's nothing to do half the time. My
You are
hands
do-
are idle too often.
Well, you are protecting your friends. That's something.
Well, protection was a constant back home. It was something we always kept an eye on while doing other things.
That's
Here,
true.
it's just, I feel like I should be building, farming, fishing, something, anything.
We do have fishing, but there's a lot of lakes on the island,
Like here, it's fishing to sell it. It feels not right.
Yeah. I guess things are simpler and more direct there. You feel like everything you do is for everything.
It is.
There's a beauty in that, for sure. Well, you should get some sleep if you can. Who knows what it'll be like trying to go into the city. You must be hot now.
Not that bad. I can always just disrobe.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure who would appreciate it.
I'm going to go check on the others. Get a good night.
Thank you.
And he heads over to Morkant. How are you, Morkant?
Doing all right, AWOC.
So what do you think is going on in the soul?
I'm sure the Apanya has a plan. We left him with enough information that he probably knows more about what's going on than we do at the moment, I'm sure.
My fear is that in Cairo, they would have known how important that the soul is in Phelan, probably more so than the other cities. They might be under a different kind of pressure than, but he's a strong man.
I'm more concerned about the fishermen at this point in time. At a certain point, they'll snap. And then what kind of chaos will happen within the city? How many people will be hurt?
I don't.
There's also questions of the children. There's if they've been moved all around, I don't know if there's been records kept at the Soul on where they went. Who got them? Who was made their parents? That's disturbing.
Why?
It's just not the way that it should be done. The Soul has always done it carefully and found them homes that would be nurturing rather than. I mean, many of them I imagine are nurturing, but a lot of them were just handed children and said, "These are your kids." Maybe it'll be good for the kids. Who knows?
I'm sure things will work themselves out once things are back to normal.
Yeah. I do think it's very interesting, the moon thing. If you do have that kind of knowledge, you're right. That will change a lot of things. You should get some sleep. You're going to have a busy march tomorrow. And he gets up. And what do you do then? He leaves, heads back over to the fire.
I just go back to my prayers and preparing for the next day.
Okay. And it's the next day. Everybody wakes up. Caribou probably wakes up first. She seems like a morning person when she's out in the woods.
Yeah, she's used to waking up with the sun.
Yeah. And the camp is getting ready and everything. And Awok is out there speaking with some archers who look like they're getting armed and preparing to move out.
Alright, well, we'll just eat some breakfast and go.
And the rest of you start waking up, and food is being served. It's like a soup. Good luck. You should move quickly. The day seems to be a blue sky. No rain to hold you up. And Lilybet, you can see, is actually putting blessings on the camp and on everybody. The blessings of Llewellyn, though not of Aquar.
Well,
How dare you?
What?
How dare.
The gods are respected. They're not really thought of as all being necessarily enemies.
Why would you want a blessing from anyone but Accor? It doesn't make any sense, Scott. 0 sense.
I know, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy to think that way. As we leave, I'll turn to Lilybud and just be like, "It was good to see you again. It's a shame we had to meet again in this fashion."
The worst way. Good luck in your venture.
Take care of these people, please. And hopefully we'll meet again someday.
Yes. And you head out with the rest of the soldier, with the armed escort. And there are 6 of them, armed to the teeth, swords, bows, some light armor, leather armor, and 1 or 2 have corboli, which is like a hardened leather armor. And you head out. You travel pretty quickly throughout the day, and I think this is a good place to take a break.
Oh.
39, 32. Yeah, perfect timing. All right, so let's take a break real quick, and we'll get back. See you in a few minutes, everybody.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back from our short break. Eslov does wish for more explodey axes. It hasn't exploded at the right time yet, except once. And that time he didn't know that it would explode.
Define right time. It almost TPK'd the party.
From a DM perspective, that was kind of cool.
It is.
Not that I was looking for a TPK, but it hurting other people in the game was super cool. It made it really, you had a lot more respect for that axe after that.
You're not wrong.
Like, oh, he's fighting. Let's all stay a little further away from him and let him fight alone.
Yeah, he's low-key kind of scared of it now.
So you all arrive at the area where the tunnel entrance is hidden.
I just want to say one thing. Vezrin, the whole time, has been quiet and kind of a little bit off alone as he's walking.
Oh, did he hear the conversation between Caradwin
Angsty.
and Rotha?
I'm assuming no.
Okay, he did. But good. All right, so the soldiers that are with you, the archers, they try and make sure you stay in the group so they are doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe I'll notice. I'll kind of look back and then start to slow my pace till I'm next to him. And then ask, something on your mind?
No, nothing in particular. I'm just anxious to be done with this usurper and maybe bring some hope back to the island.
Well, hopefully we can make quick work for her.
Perhaps. I just... Too much has happened, and I hold myself and my family responsible for the failures that have occurred here.
I wish I could understand the complexity of your life here and the lives of the other people here.
Yes, I will. To be fair, I don't even understand it completely myself. So, and I live it.
So you're at the entrance, and there's this hidden away little cave entrance that you remember. What are you doing?
Well, we were concerned about it being blocked, or we do know that it was used by the enemy before, so it's a good chance it is known to them. Do we want to send in someone ahead of us?
I think we should leave the scouts at the entrance, and the four of us can go in and check this place out. We know it better than anyone else. Putting them there only puts their lives in danger.
I imagine most of them are archers anyway. Scott, are they archers?
Yeah, they're all archers.
Okay.
I mean, they have swords too, but they're really archers.
I mean, it makes more sense to have archers at the back anyway. But, should we, just sneak in ahead? Check it out?
I think we should sneak in. I think the archers should stay here near the entrance, but inside, away, so anybody outside doesn't necessarily see them. And I think if we do not return by morning, that they should head back without us and assume the worst.
And one of the archers, he goes, "We should go in with you. We're to get you to the actual entrance to the city."
I mean, I'm more concerned about bringing more attention to ourselves. But if you wish to go in with us, if that was your orders from Awok,
We're to get you to where you can get into the city. So, how far does the tunnel go before it opens up somewhere?
It's quite the walk, if I remember correctly.
I
like
believe it goes all the way
pointless.
to the sea if you follow it long enough.
Yeah, there's a
Um,
ladder.
But In reality, if you were to come with us, what would you be doing? If something happened, I believe we'd be protecting you. So go ahead and head back to the camp. You've done
I
what
don't
you
want.
can.
I don't think it's. We should wait. We should have them wait for us tomorrow morning. If we are able to get Amari out, then we will. It might be better to have an escort to get back to the camp.
I see no reason to have these men standing out here in the open by themselves.
Not in the open. I'm saying inside the tunnels, and wait for us inside the tunnel, a little bit further
Are you
in.
saying they don't seem capable, Morgans?
They're more than capable. The Elven archers.
I am saying that they're safer at the camp than they are here. And if the caves have been compromised, they're definitely not safe in there.
I'm not saying for them to go further in. I think that they should stay here at the entrance, but not out in the open, because it will be nice to have an escort if we need one when we go to leave. If we send them back and then we run into more trouble, we won't have backup support that we may need.
Especially if you arrive and you need to travel in the evening out here.
Well, I mean, what do they want to... Let's ask them what they want to do. I mean, if they want to come with us to the entrance of the city, I don't think that's too big of a deal. I mean, worst comes to worst, we have a brawl in the tunnels. It's like they're free agents.
They are grown men, after all, and women.
You're more important than us.
Are they grown men?
They are. Well, men and women.
And a child. Little Billy with a bow.
Little teenager.
Let's,
Well, let's just scout ahead, assess the situation, and then make a decision then, because right now we just don't have information.
I agree. We may all have to turn around and go back right now anyways, and come up with a new plan.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay, so... Dresden,
wait. 1 second. Morkant, would you like to send a note to the Epanye?
Yes, but that's not really possible.
Of course it is. And then Soul appears on my shoulder. We can have Soul fly over and try to find a way into the soul. Ironic. And deliver this message to the Epanye. Letting him know that we're coming. To be aware.
Okay.
Maybe he might be able to even help us get into the city. If he has created a network, he may know a way to get us there safely.
would help to have an inside man.
I guess let's tie a message to Soul's leg then.
We don't have to tie it. We can just have Soul carry it. She's smart enough to know. Plus, that way, if somebody starts shooting at her, she can, bail, hopefully, and not be caught with the letter on her leg. So just whatever message you want to send to him, and please add on to that whatever he relays to Soul, I will hear.
Will it be within range?
I think as long as I stay in it, I don't lose it. But I can't give Soul any more commands once it gets to a certain range.
All right. So I'll go ahead and write out a note saying, Apanya, this is Morkant. We're heading into the city. Expect us soon. This is a familiar to the wizard, so feel free to talk to it. We will not be able to respond.
Okay.
And I will have Soul fly as high as she can over the city to, not bring attention to herself as she's flying.
Okay.
And then when she gets to where the Soul is, kind of make her way down without, not make it look like she's circling, but kind of go and sway and come back a little bit and basically try to make it look like a normal bird just landing on the Soul.
And
Yeah.
while Vezran's in his gaze holding on to my shoulder and be like, I really hope Alistair hasn't been brainwashed.
And you head into the tunnels, and the archers go with you, protecting your back as you go in. And you do the long travel. It's, the ground is very hard to walk. It's pretty rough and everything, if you remember. Probably Vesrin trips once or twice with his eyes in a glaze. But, he doesn't give up on seeing through the bird's eyes. And you get to the point where it goes up to the cellar doors.
Was Soul able to get into the Soul?
Or is
Not
it
yet.
still flying?
Okay.
Still flying.
All right. I'll take Vezrin's arm and put it on Esloth and let me take a look, and then I'll run my finger along the scar on my hand and turn it invisible. And
Okay.
it just kind of peek up.
And when you go to try and
don't
open
feel
it, it seems to either have something on it or be locked or something.
Then I'll just say, it looks like we need to walk further down to where those bird women were.
And the archers go, the what?
Oh, don't worry about it. You can head back.
We are to get you into the city. You're not in the city yet.
You
Oh,
are
I mean,
awfully
can
pushy.
I just try to move it? The hatch. Just want to
Oh.
try. Just humor me.
I'm out of the way already, if you would like to.
Okay.
I'll climb the ladder and attempt to move it.
Make me a strength check. Yeah.
Hang on, I have a plate I have to move. Okay. That's okay.
It's pretty tight.
It's a 13.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. Whatever it is, it's either locked or something's on it. It's not moving very much.
Yeah, we'll be hard pressed to get through that. She'll come back down.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
And you continue on, and as you get to the place where you'd have first discovered it, you can hear water just dripping up ahead.
I can do that too.
And, there's the lever that makes the I forgot the word. The sacrifice slab. I forgot the word for it. To make it move. And I guess somebody's pulling it and making it move. And when you do, there's a little bit of water that kind of trickles down the stairway into here.
I'll try and sneak up ahead in my invisible state to see if I can see who it is.
And when you look out, you see that the floor, the circular basin, has water filling it, and there's a hole in the roof. So it looks like whatever, it's rained a lot or what have you, and with the hole in the roof, it has just filled the bottom area with water.
Wasn't it filled with water before?
No, the very, very bottom was, but the water's up higher now, filling up that whole bottom section.
So does the water? If I remember correctly, the secret staircase underneath the sacrifice lab, it was the staircase. So like, there's water coming down the staircase.
Yeah, and the staircase is actually raised up above that area, but obviously there was enough that a little bit trickled down onto the stairs.
Is it so much water that we can't get through?
No, it doesn't block it. You'll wade through, not wade, you'll walk through an inch of water maybe at most.
Huh.
Okay.
And the hole in the ceiling, does it look like it was carved, or does it look like something caved in?
It looked like it caved in.
Excuse me. Does it
All
look
right.
like? Well, maybe the. Does it look like the bird women got out and then it caved in? And that's all
You don't know how the bird women got out.
right. Okay.
Vestrin, your bird starts its descent to the soul, and as it's coming in, the streets seem pretty deserted. The area around the soul is pretty open. The doors are open to the soul, which is useful. It allows you to get in easily as a bird. But there are a couple people down the street that look like soldiers. They're armed with spears and shields, and they're in groups of 2 or 3 in different places. But there's more of them. The soul is very near the port. There are more soldiers by the port, and they seem to be checking people as they come into the city from the ships, and not doing the kind of cursory check that you were used to when people would come in before. It's actually a pretty deep check. They look at bills of lading. It looks like they're spending a lot of time looking at paper, checking the individuals and all that. And many people, they turn around and tell them they have to go back to the ship. And then your bird goes into the soul.
I'll relay that. Just so you know, it looks like there's a lot of guards by the docks, and they're doing a very, very thorough search and check of the individuals coming in, and turning many of them away.
Just for avoiding the dogs.
We may not be able to if we want to get Amari. Well, I can't hear you say that, so never mind, I wouldn't say that.
And the bird flies in, and you can see that around what would be the fireplace, although there's no fire because it's not cold, most of the clerics are there praying, and they're praying in words that you don't recognize. The Apania is not there, though.
Do I see Morkan's girlfriend?
Yes, she's there.
Girlfriend.
Does she look normal?
She's there praying with the rest. They're all in prayer. And then a few minutes later, a moment later, you do see the Apania come in. And he goes over to the doors, and he looks around outside, kind of carefully, and he closes the doors.
And Soul at that point would fly and land on his arm.
And he's shocked for a moment.
And then she kind of lift up her claw like she's holding that letter.
And
A little note.
and he takes the letter. I'll be back, everyone. And he heads up into up the walking area to his room, and he goes into his room. It's good to know that you're okay. Things are not as good here. Food is tightly controlled. The guards are are vicious when they need to be. And we are doing everything we can to try and get word out in various ways, but all the ways have been blocked. We do have, we think, one of the new guards that we believe we might have I don't want to say turned yet because I don't want to be that optimistic, but maybe is weak enough that he could be manipulated into going against his personal judgment. And we are now looking at things like backgrounds on whomever these people are. Most of them, since they're from Cairo, we don't know them. I do have a suspicion that some of them are not what they appear. Some seem to be people, some never talk. And I'm not sure whether that is potentially a disguise of things that aren't people. Whether their tongues have been cut out, I don't really know. But there have been hangings, there have been public executions, beheadings. The artist area has been replenished, but the artisans are under heavy guard all the time. So we can't really do anything for them yet. And we are beginning to dig a tunnel near the wall by the lake to be able to get people in and out. It's a busy area that's very run down, and the guards tend to be less observant in that area. So that might allow us, if not escape, at least a way of getting people in and out to get information to the outside world and get information in from there. I hope that you've been able to find AWOC and some of the other resistance, I guess. I don't have a whole lot more to say. It is not safe to come into the city if that's what you're planning on doing. They know who all of you are. They know who all of you are, and they know who to look for. And they ask about you all the time. They ask people specifically about you, and I have a feeling that they're using some kind of charms or spells to get people to compel people to the truth. I don't know what else to say. Good luck, and I hope that you stay safe and that we can bring down this Viscount and his demon.
With that, Soul will kind of
wasn't too optimistic.
Soul will kind of in a bird's way, console him. Kind of rub her beak against his hand, gently, and then poof. The whole time, everything he's saying, I would be relaying to them word for word as he's telling me.
Yeah.
Just for you guys would have all heard this conversation. And then a moment later, Soul's on my shoulder, and my eyes are back to here.
Okay. And you're standing now in this raised dais area where the rest of the area is filled with water, except for this area.
Is it dark in here?
It's dark, except there. Well, it's night. It's night. It is dark.
Soul would light up the room a little bit, just for you guys.
Okay.
I would have her.
What time is it at this point?
You'd gotten here just at the beginning of gotten to the tunnel entrance right at the beginning of evening. like early evening, so it'd be, a couple hours later, hour later.
All right.
So, what is our move? Obviously, we can't let anybody know that we're here because there's a good chance that they could be charmed to tell the truth.
Well, we could try to sneak through the city, but I mean, it sounds like it's really tight. We could try to use Soul again to try to locate this captain. Because I don't think it's safe for us to go to the docks, considering how you were saying that you're so tightly watched.
Mm-hmm. I met Amari once. Yes, I feel like I met Amari because there was.
You did.
Okay, so I would know who to look for. I would relay that to Soul. I'd say, what do we want to send? Because there's a hole in the ceiling. Yes.
Yeah.
I guess we could send another note saying we have access to pitch. Come to this, follow the bird.
Well, she may or may not need pitch. It'd be trying to get the meat somewhere outside the city.
Well,
Because a boat can pull up close enough to shore. The weather's warm enough, we might be able to swim out. Scott, is the water warm enough that we might be able to swim in it?
Yeah, it's spring. The water's warm.
Okay.
so you want us to dive into the water and swim to the docks?
Not to the docks. We send her a message to maybe go north of the city or south of the city and bring the boat close enough to the shore.
I don't
Oh,
think she can. She's remember she's pretending like her boat can't leave, so we can try to get them there. She's waiting on us.
Yeah, but if we have her meet somewhere else, we can take them there.
Is there a place that we could have them meet us at along the shore somewhere that wouldn't be noticeable?
Well, you don't know what the guard layout is like outside of the dock area, but the beachhead along here is pretty long. There's a pretty long beach, to Phelan. Maybe at night. I mean, well, you don't know because if there's a lot of elves and elves, they have night vision, so it's not like you can just be there and not be seen. But the dock was pretty heavily watched and guarded. The beach is probably less so. Although not guarded.
well, I mean, if we had her leave the city. The idea before was that we'd have her leave the city and then we'd capture some of her guard and herself. So that would just go back to plan A. Because if we give her a note, then saying meet us outside the city, she's gonna have to have her escort, or else they won't let her leave.
If she's on her ship,
Will they let her leave? I mean, that kind of does not blow her cover though, because she's like, I can't leave with my ship being unrepaired.
you can say it's been repaired, I'm sure. I don't know exactly what her situation is, besides what AWOC said. I'm sure they're forcing her to do some repairs.
How about we write? We have people that need to be taken away from here. Are you able to leave? And if so, where can we meet you along the coast? And then she can relay to your soul.
Sure. I mean, we won't know until we talk to her, so Soul's the safest option.
Soul, are you ready to go? Again? This is very important. And I only trust you to do this.
All right. So you wait in the 8 and send your bird out. Flies over to the port area again, high, and then comes in. And it lands on the side of the ship and starts flitting around. And you see Omari is on the top deck. And she is sort of looking out at the sky and almost in a trance.
Is there Soul? I'll have Soul like kind of look around to see if there's any guards to be wary of that might be on the boat.
There are no guards on the boat.
Then she will kind of fly and land on Amari's shoulder.
And she stops what she was, her thought, and she puts her finger out and brings the bird.
And then with one hand, the bird kind of holds up the little scroll.
1 foot.
1 foot.
Yeah, 1 foot.
Yeah, there are birds with hands. Only fish have hands.
Sorry, I meant foot.
Tonight isn't the right night. The stars are not aligned for this, and the guards are too wary. The ship is capable of sailing. The need for pitch or tar is a ruse to buy me time here while I await you. If you wanted to meet outside of here, probably the safest place where you'd have the least opportunity to be followed if you could get around the city would be to maybe go to the Witch's Fingers. They're a stretch that most people don't want to traverse. They're very rocky, hard to get to. But once you're there, they drop hard to the sea, and I could send a small boat to pick you up. You have people there who know where that is, right? Oh, you don't get an answer.
Yeah.
If you don't know where that is, there are enough people. If you're outside the city and have come across AWOC or the others, then they'll know where the Witch's Fingers are.
I will obviously I'll be relaying this to everybody, but I will also be saying this could be very risky. We'd have to get my brothers and sisters around Phelan, and then all the way down through the reaching woods to the Witch's Fingers. It's not an easy journey, especially with people looking for us desperately.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I don't think there is going to be a plan without a lot of risk. I'd rather chance the forest.
The alternative is sneaking your family through the city.
She's not wrong.
I know what I prefer.
What would that be?
Forest, of course.
Vezran can't hear any of this. He's still there. And then I'll make Soul disappear, come back, and then now I can hear you guys.
I think the forest actually is a safer bet. It's sneaking him through the city or sneaking him through the forest.
Scott, can you mark on the map that we have where the camp is, where my brother and sisters are? I'm trying to get an idea of where they're at.
They would be somewhere up in here.
Oh.
So we're all the way there, and we got to go. Yeah, that's a really long. Yeah, it's a really long trip.
At least 2 days.
And the Witch's Fingers are down here.
And she said the Witch's Fingers are steep and dangerous. So even if we get there, we have a lot of risk there too.
Wait, so is the Soul trying to build a tunnel like right here and our tunnel like right here?
Yes.
Hilarious.
They don't know about this.
We could let the Soul know about the location, and maybe they can find a way to open the. But that might bring risk too.
What?
It might be. I'm saying it might bring risk as well.
Sure.
If we let them know about this, because then, if they lock this door and they're keeping it secure, and somebody opens it, then they know people have found it.
We can't keep sending your bird flying around either. Eventually they'll notice, and if it's enough magic that those secret domes need to be put to keep people safe, eventually if they peer in on us.
Well, I still would have to send another one out to let Amari know if we're going to meet her inside the city or at the Witch's Fingers. Because we need to decide that. I don't know how well Ileana will make that trip. It's very dangerous. She does not have the combat prowess of my sister or even my brother. Alred is nice, but he was trained to defend himself. Ileana has kind of been sheltered. It's a long trip for her and a lot of danger.
Well, I mean, the alternative is trying to find a... If we can find a way through the city to deliver them to the dock somehow, then we could explore that option. But right now, I don't see the option.
Perhaps I could have Soul scout different ways around the dock, see what's around there where there's a weakness in the defenses.
Well, does Soul see people just walking around?
From what we saw, mostly the streets at night were, from what Scott was telling me, it's kind of empty.
It's mostly guards.
How many guards did I see through Soul's eyes?
About 13, 14 total.
All together, or in like different areas that I saw?
2 or 3 here, 2 or 3 here. The docks had about 7 or 8 that you saw.
I'll have Soul go out and scout real quick to see if there's other ways to the dock. That might be.
I mean, does this city have a sewer or a drainage system?
I think we're in it.
And the dais starts to slide back.
Like somebody's moved it?
It just slides back.
Is it on a timer?
You don't know. You didn't stay around last time to know. It's probably a timer.
I don't think these are the sewers, though they certainly are smelly enough to be. But
the only alternative I realistically see, Vezran, to going down to the Witch's Fingers is to liberate Phelan, which would be quite risky and could lead to many casualties.
yes.
Because even if the guards aren't there now, they might be there once we try and sneak your family in. So no matter what path you take, it's just far less likely to succeed.
Well, we're gonna have to go around like Roswin, avoid the main roads, go through the forest and the Reaching Woods, and eventually come out to the Witch's Finger Peninsula.
Can you make me a perception check?
To run into your sister. Who? Everyone?
Oh, yeah, all of you.
19.
Dirty 20.
I rolled a natural 19.
It stinks
Plus
too
3.
bad in here for me to be able to be aware.
22.
I got a nat 1.
22.
If you remember the floor plan to this place, how there was like a walkway that kind of walked around it and went in a circle, and it eventually came into the other side. You can hear some pretty quiet footsteps coming around those now, outside in the long hall that goes around it.
I'm assuming who I know it was just me, or because the Morcant rolled high too. Yes.
It was you and Morkant.
I got a 20.
So the 3 of you, everybody but Eslov.
Who's whistling?
I'll do this to the archers. And to Eslov.
Is there anywhere to hide?
Am I still invisible, or is that spell timed out?
How long does it last for you?
An hour?
Oh, you're still invisible. It hasn't been an hour.
Do I feel like I have a decent amount of time?
No. But you have some.
I will, with a certain level of stealthy speed, see if I can see who's walking around.
Okay. So you go up the stairs to the... If you remember, you had to go up the stairs along the side wall to the doorway that came in. There was a platform. I
believe I was carried gently, if I remember.
Yes. Yeah, by a harpy. So you get out there and you see some torchlight in the distance down the hall. And it looks like there's maybe 3 or 4 armed soldiery type people.
And are they heading like in the general direction of the group?
Yes.
Or are they just going to be walking around? Okay. I will...
They seem to be patrolling.
I'll head back to the group. And then as soon as I get them back into the tunnel.
As you're heading in, you hear one of them saying, I hate coming in this place. Nothing ever comes in here, but it's creepy. That's all it says.
Caradwin will say, yeah, but that told
No, wait.
us.
How on nerve do these guards look?
It's hard to tell in the dark, but I mean, they seem to be coming cautiously, more cautiously than they would be on, say, a street, checking along a street or something. So, they're not coming quick. They're coming like they're nervous about it, like they don't like checking it.
You're muted.
I'll make sure Soul disappears so we don't have any light down there on us. Like, because Soul does give off a little bit of light.
Yeah.
So just for the records, she will disappear for now.
I don't have dark vision, by the way, so I can hardly see anything.
But if we get in a fight, I'll turn her back on for you.
I kind of want to use thaumaturgy to kind of first, make their torches flicker.
Okay.
And then, slight sounds in various directions, see if I can kind of get them on edge, just try and get them to move through the area of, cries and with ominous whispers and whatnot.
And one of them stops when the flickering happens, and then did you hear that? The other one's like, I
Then a
thought
little
was
girl
that
laughed.
you?
Have some humming. All right. Caradwin's gonna take a page from that book and use minor illusion to have the humming echo, humming ring around the Rosie, which is about the plague, by the way.
And they stop and look at each other.
And Vezran will add to it. He'll have minor illusions. Make it look like shadows are moving where they shouldn't be.
And how far am I away from them?
But not like human shadows.
Well, you're probably actually a few feet from them through a wall, but they have to continue around to the door and back in. So you're not far.
Can I get close? So there'd be a door I couldn't just go mess with them while I'm still invisible?
You could. The door is broken.
If I could just lightly just touch the tips of one of their hair or brush the shoulder as invisible stealthy as possible.
And one of them starts running. Where are you? Yeah, we're done here. We're done here.
It's clear.
And
Let's go.
They start backing out I hate this place, and they just move away. I'm not going in there again. Yes, you are if you have to. But we'll do it in the day. That place is creepy. I knew it was haunted. They keep telling us that it's haunted.
And then I'll return to the group. I'm assuming about now my invisibility probably breaks, yeah?
Yeah.
That should buy us some more time.
Yeah, they're not going to admit to anyone that they were too scared. So they're just going to say, oh, nothing was wrong. Okay, well, yes, didn't we want Soul to do more scouting?
I'll write a letter. I'll have Soul Scout first before we write the letter to Amari. A response of where we're going. Let's see what we can get of this city, and I'll have of the dock area at least. So I'll have Soul kind of scout from like here to the docks to see if there's any ways that we can get there safely and more easily.
Okay.
But I'll do it from like a height to where she's less likely to be noticed in the sky, but still can see.
Yeah. And she's flying, and as she gets near the docks, what's her AC?
I don't. Let me see. I think I might have it on. I'm looking over here. Here we go. I have it. AC is 12.
Yeah. And an arrow flies up and just misses her from near the dock area, and you see there's some activity with some guards who start running in the direction of the bird, and the others are starting to pull their bows.
Oh, like I said, she would have been high enough to where they shouldn't even be able to hit her.
Right, they didn't hit, but they saw.
Then I'll have her swoop towards the water, like she's going down to the water, but way out. And right before the water, I'll have her disappear.
Okay.
Like way out there in the water.
Okay. And she's on your shoulder again.
That was a close one. And I'll pull out some. I'll pull out some bird seed to see if she wants it.
Spotted?
Well, they tried to shoot her. Yes.
Professor, is there any way to know if there are magical eyes on us at any point?
I mean, there are ways, but I don't believe I have the capability at this time to do so. Let's see, invisibility works on that.
I can only assume they're on much higher alert now. We should probably be going.
I agree. Let's return to camp. Then, does that mean we're gonna brave the forest?
I can assume it's the best option. I don't think we have the resources to. But as far as the guards I've seen, those men don't want to be terrorizing people. They don't want to be doing what's going on. Perhaps there's some way we convince these new guards to change alliances, follow Ratha.
Yeah, well, I mean, we need to get word out that the Resistance has a true and rightful heir at their back.
Yes, we need to sow dissent in the city somehow.
Yeah, so, I mean, if we can give, I mean, someone they can rally behind is what they need.
Yes, a reason.
Actually, Scott, I can cast the invisibility, which I was just checking with scrying and all that, because scrying counts, basically become like an invisible orb.
Mm-hmm.
And it says a creature that can see invisible objects can see the orb. So because Morkan asked if we can, Vezran would go into casting see invisibility to see if there are any eyes on us at this time.
Okay. And when you cast, you don't see anything in here looking at you.
I do not see anything on us at this moment. So perhaps they just noticed Soul's glowing appearance in the sky.
At night.
Yeah.
I mean, it is night, so. Okay, well, let's just return to camp.
We still need to let Amari know if we're going to meet at the Witch's Finger.
Oh, right. We do need to know that.
I think we should wait a little bit of time, and then I should try to send Soul out with another letter, knowing that we will try to meet her there. How many days does it take to travel there? If we were trying to go around,
It'll take probably 3 days, 4 days.
So we'll say meet us there, and
because remember, there's no roads through that. It's all rough.
So 5 days to give us.
Actually, hold on. Let me look. Yeah, you could avoid the Brina line, which is the hilly areas. I mean, actually, going around Lake Roswin, yeah, it's going to take more than that. It might take more than a week. It'll take more than a week.
We'll have to go around Roswin and down.
Yeah.
But here's the question: are we the ones that are going to go down and around, or will they send people with my brother and sisters? And while we have to deal with other things, because it's not necessarily that we have to do that. Because we can divide and conquer. We have allies that can escort and get them there.
That's true. And what would be our plan? Well, this happens to try and get to the clerics.
Either get to the clerics, or I know what was his name, the one that talked to me last night.
Cardwell.
Cardwell had an idea last night. He did speak to me that perhaps if Phelan has a tunnel, and we know Cairo had one as well, that perhaps many of the other major cities will as well. And if we can scout those tunnels, then perhaps we can build a network for all the cities while we move forward. Personally, I would rather go to Cairo and find a way to deal with this head on, but I don't know if that's possible.
I mean, it's risky, but if we can cut off the head of the snake, everything else should fall apart, I believe. I do know Phelan is special with the artists, though, and part of their master plan.
But if we spend time dealing with this, we may not meet any headway, and then they might be able to do more damage to the people here. We have Cardwell looking into the cities to build this network. We can have others get my sisters and brother to the ship, Amari's ship, at the Witch's Finger, and then we can use that time to try to deal with the usurper ourselves and the Viscountess, the Deva.
I'm fine with that plan.
Eslav, you've been quiet. What are your thoughts?
I haven't had many. Just been trying to get the smell of this place out of my nose. It doesn't matter to me much what we do.
Well, I mean, I think we are more suited to this tackling the city problem because they haven't made a lot of headway, whereas we have a different set of skills that might make a difference. And the archers are well trained for these sorts of situations such as escort.
Yes. All right.
I agree.
So let's wait a little bit. Hopefully the action dies down above. I'll have Soul fly much higher up in the sky for the time being until she gets over the ships, and then make her way out from the ocean towards Amari's ship with a new letter saying that we will meet. You said it'll take like a week to get there?
Yeah.
Whatever amount of time we think it'll be, I'll add like a day or two extra in case they run into issues. You know,
all right.
That kind of thing. Yes, and then I will send Soul out really high up, way out over the ocean, and then come back low by Amari's boat.
Okay.
And come to her once more with a new letter.
And she takes the letter. You're risking a lot doing this. I'll be there.
And then Soul will nod and then poof, disappear.
Okay.
The message has been delivered. She will be there in about a week and a couple days. So we need to get back. Unless there's more we need to do here. Morkan, I know you still want to get your message to the Iconia, but I don't know how much they can do with this.
Well, we could send the archers back with the message and having the plan to take Ratha and the others to the witch's fingers. I think if we stay here, it would be best to move during the day, because then, there are people moving and we could move with them. Or I suppose at night there's no one moving around, so we'll just stick out.
Perhaps, yes, we could maybe camp here tonight in this terrible place. Sorry, Islov. And then I can send out Sol in the morning to see if there are more people on the streets. And in daylight, she'll look more like a normal bird and less like a beacon of light.
We should definitely leave. If we're going to camp out, we should probably leave the city and camp out the entrance to the cave, because they are patrolling this area specifically.
That's wise.
All right, that's a fair point. Let's return to the forest then.
Yes. All right, so then we'll go back out. And
Okay.
I'm assuming these archers are going to wait till the morning to head out?
Yeah, they're going to head out with you.
Well, because we're going to stay here. We're going to send them back to deliver the message.
Oh, they're going to do the... Okay, yeah. Yeah, then they will wait till the morning. Well, no, it doesn't matter in the tunnels.
You're putting all those eggs in that basket. Push them out.
But I will write the letter personally saying that, you must get Ratha, Alrid, and Ileana to the witch's fingers by this date. We asked for a couple extra days, so that way we can get you there hopefully in time. Please ensure that they take the safest route there with armed guards.
Okay.
And then I won't even tell these guys what is in the letter. I will tell them they need to get this to AWOC, and I will put it with... I'm not going to use my seal like with my symbol, but I am going to use the wax, the same color, that blue wax.
Okay.
And I'll just kind of melt it on there so it is sealed. It just doesn't have my crest on it because I don't want to bring that kind of attention to it.
Right. Okay. Easy enough.
And I'm actually not going to say their names. What I'll say is get the 3 to the witch's finger. That way it's not saying who it is.
Okay.
Actually, so I would rewrite that as I think about that. No, shh. Yeah. Get the 3 to the witch's finger by this date. Boom. So,
All right.
and then I guess we'll send that with him in the morning.
All right. So they'll go in the morning. So as you're waiting, there's a lot of creepy sounds in this place as you're spending time in here. I mean, the water dripping, there's every now and then the wind howls through. There are birds that roost up in the area. You can hear them, their little claws like scrape along where the harpies were before.
This love is not going to let us sleep.
Yeah, we left the thing because it's being patrolled.
Yeah, so you're going into the tunnels. Are you leaving the thing open, or where you can hear it, or are you closing the thing too?
We'll close the hatch if we can.
Okay. All right.
Leave no trace.
So you don't hear the things inside, although there are bats that you remember.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better we close it because they're less likely to come down through here if they don't know it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you travel back, and then a few hours later you get to the entrance to the tunnel.
Oh, I didn't know the entrance was that long.
Oh, it's a couple hours because you have to travel. First off, it's very rocky in there, and there's like gnarly and it's hard to walk it. It's like an hour to 2 hours to travel through, depending on the amount of light you have. Although all of you except Eslov, I think, can see in the dark, right? Oh, no.
I mean, I'll turn on my lamp.
You can't either.
Well, I was gonna say I could have Soul do it, so that way, have Soul do it because this way you don't have to worry about trying to put the lamp out quickly because I can just snap and have Soul disappear.
Sure.
That's so mean to snap him out of existence like that.
It's not mean.
And
Keep her safe.
so you're traveling with the guards, and then when you get to the exit of the tunnel, then you're going to let the guards go ahead of you.
Well, I thought we were all going to camp right inside the thing, and in the morning they're going to leave, and we're going to head back in, I think.
Okay, so you're going to go back in, they're going to go out. So you're just making sure that the message gets sent and they don't get intercepted somewhere in between in the tunnels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get out, the guards are released and head into the woods, and you head back into the tunnels. You get to the point where you're
Is this the next morning? Is this the next morning? Okay.
Yes, next morning. I'm assuming you rested some.
Yes.
Yeah. On your way back, you get to the area once again where it goes up into the cellar doors, and I assume you're not going there, or actually, what are you doing there? Are you going up there again, or are you going the other way?
I mean, I would think we would go the other way because we know that entrance is open.
Yeah.
We know this one's blocked.
Perhaps I could have Soul fly, now it's daytime, and go see what's on that lock on the outside of the door here. Is it blocked? Is it locked? So we know what we're dealing with.
Yeah, if you ever go around, it's barred with a metal bar.
Oh, like they welded bars onto it.
No, they put a bar into a slot. They put the things in, and a bar
Okay.
comes down. Somebody did.
How strong is Soul?
Yeah, I don't think Soul could move that bar, can she?
No.
I mean, she is a baby phoenix. I mean,
Yeah, she's about the size of a sparrow. Maybe a little bigger than a sparrow at this point.
hey, she's got a 6 strength. Okay? She's a tough little thing. All right.
But there are also out here, there are some people like out and about. There are guards, but there are also other people. You see carts moving stone and stuff. Laborers moving about.
Now, I'll obviously be relaying it to you guys. I don't know how easy it will be for us to move. It looks like most people that are out are those that are doing labor work. But there's not a lot of people walking around that they're not doing labor, right?
No. Not a lot. There are some.
We will definitely probably attract attention if we go out into the city right now.
I don't know if there is a good time to go into the city.
I'm not sure there is.
We just need to let the masses know that there's an alternative to what's going on. I don't know how much we can do directly anyways.
I mean, we could always have Soul just drop letters to random people saying, your salvation will come soon.
Drop pamphlet. Follow Raka. She will free you all.
The end is nigh.
Pamphlet campaign. Let's do it.
I mean, I honestly don't know. I mean, the 4 of us, even with us using disguise self, will be pretty, it'll still bring attention. It will. I mean, you have a tall individual, even if he's robed, these guards are going to be curious as to what we're doing out and about. 4 of us.
That. Then he looks at Karen. Who's like 2 feet taller.
Yeah, but she could make herself not look like she's 2 feet taller.
It is true. Well, how far apart are the guards placed?
You know, like, I mean,
Well, they're moving around. They're not just standing on corners.
Yeah, but there's still going to be space in their
Yeah, they're a couple blocks apart. Most of them.
I mean, I could use soul from above to kind of point and tell us when we should stop. To try to avoid detection. And we can use that to go through the alleys to maybe make to the soul. But, you know, the longer we're up there, the longer we're here, the higher chances are to get caught.
Okay.
Perhaps we could be
This-
martyrs.
This is my idea. We want to get to this. Do we want to get to the soul? Is that where we want to get?
I don't know that would do anything except for put the soul at danger.
Okay. What are we trying to accomplish in the city then? What's the actual goal here?
I just know that Morkant wanted to go see Yaponia in person.
Well, I think
I
it's more that he wanted to deliver the message.
And he wanted to deliver the star
The
chart.
note. The deciphering of matter.
So what are you doing now? Where you're still walking down the tunnel?
I would assume we probably haven't even left the campsite yet. We'll probably
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, we
okay.
don't even have a plan.
because I could have sent Soul into the city from there too.
That's true.
What if we kidnap some guards, tie them up, and pretend to be the guards? That'll allow us to walk around freely.
Yeah,
But-
and then Eslov could stay here and watch them. And sorry, that's kind of boring, but
Again, what is our goal to infiltrate the city at this moment? What are we trying to accomplish? Is it just to deliver that letter? Because technically, you don't need to capture guards to do that. I mean, Eslov and myself can stay here. You two could go and disguise yourselves as guards, which still may bring attention to yourselves, especially since we don't know, according to the Eponia, that some of them may not be people. Who knows what they're capable of seeing?
My main concern here is we can't leave the city this much on edge. Those fishermen will only put up with so much before they
But how do
push
we-
back, and
how do we
that could
rectify
be a
that?
horrible end.
How do we fix that now?
I believe we need to head to the new Reeve and talk to him and see how well connected he is, and perhaps convince him to let the city go.
So you want to try to convince somebody who clearly follows Karos and may be a pawn for Karos to not do what he's doing.
There might be a nice waiting room for him in the soul that might help convince, if need be.
okay. So objectively, we want to get to. Is there like a fort in this city where like the ruler sits on or something? Like where the mayor hangs out? Or
Well,
town hall?
It was the
There-
elders before.
Right.
Walk was one of the leaders of the city.
Yep. But you don't know of another place if there is one.
But
Where?
here's
Where's this person gonna be?
Morkant. We don't know where this person is. Secondly, even if we do get him into that room, I'm sure there'll be others that were either there with him or know of his location. Then we put the Eponia and everybody else in the soul, your family, in danger by trying to trap him in that room. And what if he can't be trapped in that room? What if he is a willing pawn that believes deeply in Karos and is not a demon? Then he can walk free from that room, and then we still have this person now who can endanger your family at the soul.
Why don't we just beat it out of them?
We
Another
still-
route.
We still have to worry about finding him, as Kerdwin pointed out. We do not know where he is.
Then what would you have us do, Vazarin? We stand
not-
here at the gate.
No, I don't know. I already said that I think our goal should be dealing with my brother and Talbamise. That's what we're best suited for. We damn near beat her. She ran. If we could find a way to lure them out or sneak in and to deal with them,
Well,
then all the sins
teleportation
anyways.
stones are right over there. Shall we just go walk into Cairo?
I don't know. That's just my concern. We're trying to find a way to deal with this. I don't know what we can do in the city. I'm not saying there is a right or wrong choice here. I'm just pointing out the problems with trying to stay here and help these fishermen not riot. It's not as easy as just finding this individual. We don't know enough information about him or what he is or what he's capable of. And we don't even know where he is. That's the challenge. And Cairo, there's no guarantee there either. I'm torn. It's more of those things we have to just choose and make the best of it.
And out there, you hear the sound of some horses.
Outside of the cavern.
Yeah,
entrance?
somewhere out there. Not real close, but if you can hear them and if you make a loud noise, they can probably hear you.
Do they sound like they're going towards our friends, or are they in a different direction?
It's hard to tell. They just seem to be traveling. There's several of them, at least probably three or more. And they're heading out. Heading away from you. You can't really see them because you're kind of in like this down area behind a hill that hides this.
I will send Soul out into the sky to see if they are tracking our friends or coming towards us or doing something else.
When Soul goes up, it sees that there are 4 horses, and they cross the path that your friends went. Instead of following them, they're going. Your friends are going one way, and they're going that way.
Which way are they going? Like towards what?
They're heading towards the lake area.
Like Rossman?
Yeah, they look like they're on like patrolmen. Going out on a patrol.
All right.
They're armed. The horses are barded also.
We could jump.
We could. How many are there? 4?
4.
We could jump them and see what they know.
Sure. Why not? Let's do it.
I think we
We
should.
got
Any of-
nothing. Let's
Are
just
any of them Dragonborn?
No.
Ah, would have been too easy.
Well, let's make a move. At least it's a step in a direction.
I will. Carrigan will stand up and go out and. Well, I'll see if I can talk to them first. I think we can handle them regardless, but hopefully, maybe we can just. Hopefully
Yeah.
they're not.
Like, the rest of us
Pass
should
it
do
over.
that.
Let's talk to them and then beat them up, if we have to.
Maybe one of us should go talk to them, and then the rest.
I'll
of us
go
should-
talk to them. And she'll get up and
Before you go, I'll just give you a little guidance.
I'm assuming we'd follow them for a little bit before we get to this point, right?
yeah, you guys just back me up in the woods. So she'll come out of the woods and shout to them, "Hail,
I'm gonna try and get behind them.
Hydra.
hail Hydra! Hail horsemen! What news have ye of the city?"
And they had passed you, and you see them start to turn, and they have spears that are lowered when they come towards you. And they're looking around suddenly when they see that you're out here.
Stealth
Where did-
checks?
What?
Oh, no, I thought you were asking for stealth checks.
If they get hostile, I want to ready a spell. I want to calm emotions to make them hopefully, if they become hostile
Okay.
towards Caradwin, to keep their emotions towards Claire.
I'm gonna try and get as close as I can to them as possible without them without getting too close to where I think they'd see me.
Make me a stealth check.
And I will ready a firebolt. So.
What are you doing out here?
16, Scott.
Okay.
Well, I
You seem to be
I-
sneaking
I-
around pretty good.
I live out here. She just gestures through the woods and it's a furbolg thing. I don't think you'd understand it. But the city seems quite on edge. I've been been a couple of months since I've been in any city. I don't remember any patrols coming through.
Yeah, there are patrols now. Why are you so close to the city if you're of the woods? This is barely in the woods at this point.
Well, I was coming in because I like to come to the city occasionally. I mean, as a recluse, you do sometimes get lonely.
And while they're talking to you, they kind of spread out into like a half circle, but with you at the center. And their spears are down. They're not like charging or anything, but they're being defensive with them. What's your name?
Oh, you can just call me Wendy.
And one of them reaches into a bag on the side, and he pulls a piece of paper out.
Uh-oh.
Well, you should come with us into the city and talk to the captain of the guard. Explain yourself.
She's just gonna be like, why would I do that? As last I checked, it was no crime to come walking through a forest. You've been awfully aggressive to someone who's done no wrong.
We just want you to explain yourself, what you're doing out here, and he's better prepared to have a conversation with a furbolg. He can speak your language in your native tongue, I believe.
Well, I can speak a lot of languages, and I'm telling you, language barrier is not the problem here. Furthermore, why do I need to explain myself? What crime have I committed?
The island is in a state of emergency at the moment. There are a lot of criminals that are to be apprehended. And one of them like turns away from you and starts looking around. Make me a stealth check, Eslov.
Another one.
Yep. Yeah, this one's now looking around.
13.
Okay.
So,
You're alone?
I'm as I am. Why is there a state of emergency? Or I've heard... Well, I haven't heard anything. I live alone in the woods.
You were about to say you heard something. What did you think? What do you think you heard?
Well, I think there's a change in position of some sort. I can't think of anything else that would get everyone so tightly wound up.
Yes, some of the noble family have been declared outlaws.
Outlaws?
Yes, for the murder of the Viscount.
A murder? The Viscount's dead? That's terrible!
So why don't you come on in? We'll make sure you're fed.
You know, there's a reason I live in the woods alone. It's because I don't like men telling me what to do.
Well, you were
So,
saying you were coming to the city, so we can escort you.
Well, I don't want an escort.
Well, there's nobody going in the city without an escort at this point. It is, after all, a state of emergency.
So who's in charge of the city now?
The Reeve.
Is that like a mayor?
It's like a mayor.
And this all right. So say I come with you. Where am I going?
To speak with the Reeve. And the captain of the guard.
Why do they want to talk to me?
Because you're very near to the city and everybody on the island knows it's a state of emergency. And you seem to be acting like you don't realize it.
Well, I just told you.
Or perhaps you really don't. In which case you could explain it and they would let you leave.
Well, why? She's just gonna action.
And one of the horsemen comes over to the one that's speaking with you, and he kind of backs into him, and he whispers something to him.
Can I hear what he says?
You can try. You can make a perception check.
Can I?
21.
How far are you, Morkant?
60 feet.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to hear from there.
Okay.
Well, I'm close. Could I hear?
You're close. I'll give you a roll.
What roll is it?
Perception. What did you get, Caradwin?
21.
Oh, nice.
17.
Caradwin, you hear him say, "I don't think we're alone. I don't think she's alone."
I don't think we're alone now. No.
Do
Okay.
you think, sir?
Right. Well, I'm gonna change the script. That's because you're not alone.
Should I
What-
step
what
on
What did
them?
you say?
That's because you're not alone.
And two of them back away from you. One of them stays on you, and they start looking around.
I'll stand up with
As-
my accent. And I'll
Let me
like
ask you
approach
something.
approach them from the back.
Where do your loyalties lie?
And Eslov, when you brandish your axe, one of them on the horses keeps his spear between you and him.
You
This
really
is
think
the-
that's gonna do much?
This is the dragon. We need to. He's one of the ones we've been looking for.
Don't
And
you
the
think?
and the one who looked at the paper said, "Oh, I know.
I would stand down.
This
If
one's
I-
Caradwin, if I'm not mistaken." Oh, he doesn't lower his spear. Neither does the one on Caradwin, and the other two split the spears between the two of you.
Well, I don't think they're listening to us, Carolyn.
Well, here are your option, boys. You can listen to what we have to say, or you can fight us and die.
And die you will. Quite gruesomely, I might add.
Trust me, he's real good with that axe.
There should be two more of you. Are the other two here?
Oh, they're around. More.
Why don't you
missing
listen to what our side first, and then you make your decision?
And they back away a little bit from you. You're not sure whether it's out of nervousness or because they want to just maintain good range on you with their good length with their spears.
Wait, so do they back into? Because the way I see it, we're on either side of them. So do they
Right,
back toward-
right. They back in almost into like a V, so they kind of back towards each other, and then they turn their horses a little bit so they're not going to be trapped, but they're uncomfortably close to you, and you probably have a reputation. I'll listen to you, says the one that had the paper.
That's a very good choice.
So she's gonna tell them about, like, she's gonna ask them, like, why they think that we murdered the Viscount, like, what's been being said about them.
The Viscount was captured in some kind of a battle and disappeared. We assumed you buried him or burned him.
And she'll, well, okay. Gosh, Tiffany is not good at these things. And don't you think it's rather convenient that Aelin was able to just step in?
Convenient. The rest of the family abandoned.
No.
In fact, they abandoned their posts and their protection of the island. They are not actually considered nobles at the moment until the king reinstates them.
Oh, that's interesting. And the Viscountess, where do you think she came from? Why would Aelin marry some strange woman and put her as his Viscountess?
I don't know anything about what the Viscountess is or looks like, or why you call her even strange. What does it matter why they married?
You're quick to trust.
Look, what if I told you that Aelin is not what he seems? That Aelin planned all of this? That he threatened his own family and usurped the throne, the Viscount seat, in an effort to take hold of the island?
That would be things I would know nothing about.
Time you learned.
It's like,
So why don't you come and talk to the Reeve and see what he thinks of all of that?
you see, we're in a bad situation. What do you think would happen to us if we went into the city? Do you think they would listen to us? Do you think they'd be reasonable like you? No. Because they believe the lies that they've been told.
From what I can see, there's no lies here. You're skulking about the edge of the city, trying to break in, probably to cause dissent while we're trying to get everything back to an orderly way.
So what's Aelin done to this island? How has he improved this island?
He's brought law and order back to it.
Which was caused by him.
Once again, you're talking as if you would even know anything about that kind of stuff. Where's Vesserin then?
Why do you
Is he
think
here?
we're wanted? I was like, we were there.
For murder.
No, I didn't murder. I didn't murder Eldrin. What
So
proof have? It was like, what proof is there of Eldrin being dead or murdered?
Well, then come and speak with the Reeve, and you can explain this, that you are not a murderer, and prove it.
It's not up to us to prove that we didn't murder someone. It's up to you to prove that we did murder someone.
Yeah, it's harder to prove that you didn't.
You don't
murder
have the
someone.
evidence because we didn't do it.
So where's Vesserin, and what's the other one's name? Morkant.
They don't need to come out.
I was like, if we showed them to you, what difference would it make to you?
Are there others with you besides the two of them and the
You
two
didn't
of
answer
you?
the question.
You didn't answer my question. Don't avoid it.
We're here to be on patrol and look for, interestingly enough, you.
Well, now you're here to talk to us. And I don't think you understand who's in power right now.
I'm trying to give you an opportunity to come and speak to the Reeve and prove your innocence.
We're giving you the opportunity to not get hurt.
Oh, so you're not going to try and you're not going to attack us if we leave?
He doesn't say anything, but he just smiles.
And one of them says, the wizard is probably preparing some kind of a firebolt. Keep your shields up in case. We need to be wary of the cleric. He's got to be around here too. So, what would you want us to do? Step down, give you our horses, and then walk back to the city to be hanged?
You don't have to go back to the city.
I don't have to go back to the city.
Wherever we go, we would be hanged if we let you walk from this.
Nope.
I mean, you don't have to tell anyone we were here.
Demi Reamer's right. And the armor, too.
I am right. I agree.
You don't have to tell anyone we're here. Look, I'm just telling you that what you know isn't true.
Then
and I'm
prove it.
inviting. What would prove it to you?
I don't know.
I think Morcant's going to kind of emerge and before all this happened, would you have been hung for doing something like this?
You think
I
it's
don't know.
right that you think that you deserve to be hung for talking to us?
That have led to your death 7 months ago?
If I lied to the captain of my guard, there would have been severe punishment.
But would you have been hung?
No, but circumstances were different. There weren't people trying to usurp the throne from the Viscount.
The Viscount, to my understanding, is in the north fighting a war right now. So, the children of the Viscount are where you're concerned. And, you know, at no point in the history of this island have you been expected to put your life on the line that way. You can't be happy about it. Are you happy about it?
I've never seen times like these.
Of course not. Normally everyone's honest with you. You're stuck in a circle of lies and I feel bad. You don't know who to believe. But do you really feel that it's anyway justified that you would die? You should die if you...
If we, don't follow orders?
Yeah.
We're following orders.
Well, that's not my question, though. You just said you would be hung. How many, what city did you guys come from before you ended up here in Phelan?
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
Where did you guys come from before you ended up here in Phelan when you got reposted?
We were pulled from Nisa.
Why are you not patrolling your own people in Nisa? Why are you not protecting your own families? Friends.
I don't know. I don't make decisions like that. I follow the orders of the island.
And don't you think you should have a say in those decisions? After all, you're the one who faces the consequences.
Well, it's not just that. Why did you join the Guard? What was your goal?
To feed my family.
And protect them, yes? There's lots of ways to feed your family. You could have fished, you could have farmed, you could have cobbled shoes. You became a guard because you wanted to protect your family, right?
Yes, and the city.
Yes. And don't you think it's odd that you are, instead of protecting your family, just enforcing an iron rule over Phelan? Isn't that bizarre to you?
It is.
How do you think the Guard is treating your family right now? The same way you're treating the people here of Phelan? Is that what you want for your family?
I don't think there was as much of an emergency there. That's why so many of us were pulled here to Phelan.
They've shuffled guards around all over the island. Guards from here were taken to other cities. How many Phelan guards do you see?
There are some working in the jails.
Is there? Where's the captain of the old captain of the guard? My good friend. One who would know that I am no murderer.
I don't know. When I got here, he wasn't here.
Of course.
Why do you
none
think
of
that
them.
is?
It's easier for you to enact this kind of thing here, and this is what's happening to your family now.
Vezran's going to step out. And Vezran's going to say,
There's the wizard.
You say that you're to stop us from usurping the throne. But yet, if myself or my siblings wanted to do it, why were we leaving to avoid danger? And then Aelin just happens to be able to take the throne after we leave. If we wanted the throne, there are older siblings that could have taken it. All of us are older than him. It's very unlikely that we would leave our family home and just give it over to him for no reason whatsoever.
We were told that you murdered the Viscount and
why would we all murder the Viscount?
And fled.
But we fled. Why would we murder the Viscount and flee? If we were going to murder and take it, we would have done it much more clever than that. The only person that would benefit from that would be him. And it's very unlikely.
Aelin protected the throne from the rest of you doing your crimes.
Aelin is a coward. And I would say it to his face if he's here. He is a coward, a liar, and a thief. He is no true ruler of this island. He is a usurper.
These men know nothing of politics.
I don't care if they know politics. They need to know the truth. An idiot would see that it makes no sense for four siblings to flee, and we all murdered my oldest brother. All of us murdered him and fled. Does that make sense to you? Why would all of us murder him, flee, and give up power?
Yeah, why would they make a power vacuum and then not go after it?
That makes no sense. Why? Tell me why. Any normal man, whether they're a noble or a commoner, would know that you don't do something like that and lose that power. Aelin didn't protect it. His wife is the reason why Eldrin is not in power now.
She's the reason he's dead.
Why would it?
She
Aelin's wife murder?
She killed him.
Because she wanted power. Because she could manipulate Aelin.
Dwyn.
And she's not who you think she is.
Dwyn saved him. She killed him. So here's your options. You either understand that we are here and we're giving you the chance. We didn't kill you right now outright. Because if we were usurpers trying to kill, why would we stand here and try to talk to you when we could just kill you? Take your horses and be on our way. You can either understand that and realize that the story you've been told is bull, or you can work with us and help us save this island from the terror that is Aelin and the Viscountess, the acting Viscountess.
And what of the Reeve?
What of the Reeve? He's here because...
Don't you think it's... You mean the Reeve that was conveniently placed as a new power right after Aelin came into charge?
His puppet?
Don't you find that a bit odd that he would remove a perfectly capable person and then put in a new one? Why? Why would you fix something that's not broken?
And I'll tell you another thing. As Morcom pointed out, the moving people around, the guards from one city to another, removing those that ran the cities just fine before these new Reeves. They do that, and then they keep the sailors out as much as possible so people can't communicate and understand what's going on. The more confused we are as a people on this island, the easier it is to manipulate and control all of us. That is Aelin's tactics. Keep people confused and separated. Keep you from your families Put
You
those
want-
that
I mean, go on. You're on a roll.
put, keep people from their families like yourself. So you don't even know what's going on back home, do you? Not really.
If you wanted to go, would they even let you go? No. And why? Because they want to control you. Open your eyes to what's around you.
Now, what was your name, friend?
Arwen.
Arwen, we're not going to take your horses. We're not going to attack you. And we're also not going to come with you.
I'll put
You
my
have all
axe
this-
away when he says that.
You have all this information now. And I know you're not the only guard in the city. I know you know the guards. And I know you know the other ones that are concerned about their family home. If you go and tell the Reeve we're out here somewhere and they send all the guards out, I understand. If you talk with your friends and you convince the guard in the city that the Reeve is problematic overall and we need to protect all of Elixia, then we will be here for you.
The island's never been more divided than it is now. And there's a reason for that. And it's not because Ratha, myself, Alred, or Ileana tried to kill Eldrin. Because Aelin made a grab for power. He used our father's absence, and he used his mistress, his wife, whatever you want to call her, to drive a wedge between us as a people. Do with that as you will.
It was lovely meeting you. And I'll start
Be on your
walking
way.
away.
I'll go back into the bushes.
Follow Morkant.
They back away on the horses.
I just don't want to feel like I'm butting in. I
I
just
just like how
you
we
felt
all
like you
stepped
were-
out one by one.
Yeah.
Imagine we were
That was good.
surrounding them completely
Oh,
by the end.
Imagine
came
we
back.
still had the archers.
What?
We still had the archers. They started popping
Yeah.
out. Too.
Yeah.
It's back. And they're kind of like walking the horses almost sideways as they look over at you as they walk, and they're talking to each other, and then they turn and start heading towards the city at like a snail's pace, chatting amongst each other. And they're looking at the paper they had, and they're handing it back and forth, and they're discussing it, and every now and then they'll point at something on it, and they kind of disappear into the trees over time. And they, even as they're doing it, they're looking back, and then they're coming back, and they seem to be very torn in their minds about what to do. And this is where we'll break.
Okay.
The seed of dissent.
Yes.
Planted the seed.
Oh,
So
great! I love political D&D.
Yeah.
My favorite thing in the universe.
And Morkon, sorry if I came out on you as well. I just I wanted to say something about it. Didn't make sense for us to do it. You know,
I know the
That's still
direction
his
you're
move.
going, but in my brain, this guard would not care about the politics of you and your family.
I know. I think that was totally
I-
valid.
It was
'cause
good.
you
It was
would-
very good.
I think they would care because the politics affects their daily lives.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
now
why
we know
they're
about
doing it.
politics
It's their
now.
motivation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we know
I get it.
that.
I understand.
But
Yeah,
I mean, that's
that was a tack I didn't think you guys I didn't think of. I'm like, oh, that's really good though.
Well, I mean, like, we don't want to. The only way the city
I
is
love
going to
that.
take itself back
If-
is through the
If we
people.
can turn the guards, then the guards assist the people
Hope.
overruling the Reeve. We win with very little bloodshed.
Yeah.
Like Vezra said, told Cardwell, hope is the only way we're going to take things back.
Yeah. That was
So.
good. All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks for watching.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
watching.
Bye.
Bye. And I have to skedaddle right away.